Yo, what is up, my gamers in Christ? How are we doing today? Yes, I am a hair late. I'm a hair late. What's up, Kayla? Good to see you. Good to see you. Glad you're enjoying Pokemon Legends. I am very glad to hear. Today, we don't have much. We're just gonna be going over to the PBS NewsHour and looking at some headlines. I do want to say that if you have been wanting to see horizontal streams, I will be doing horizontal on the weekends until eventually we move to weeks doing horizontal on the weeks, vertical on the weekends, and then we'll probably keep it that way for a little bit. You ever watch Democracy Now? Yeah, I watch a little bit of Democracy Now here and then. I do indeed. Anyways, besides that, I'll turn it down a little bit, my bad. Besides that, not really much going on in the world today. Obviously, we have the war in Iran that is raging on. But that, that doesn't seem like it's shutting down anytime soon. But, yeah, this, the war in Iran really is a huge betrayal for the people that voted for Trump, in my opinion. So I feel like we're gonna get a lot of disaffected MAGA here soon coming in and saying they were wrong, saying they were absolutely wrong. Anyways, let me announce that I'm live. Alright, let me send that out. No face cam today. Sorry about that. I didn't have time to really set it up. But if you guys are enjoying the stream, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel and gets me boosted out there. I do a show every day where I talk about the news and politics and so much more. So if that interests you guys, feel free to leave a like and a sub. Also, I do have call-ins, so if you disagree with anything that I have to say and you think you can debate me in the field of ideas, feel free to in the battlegrounds of ideas. Yeah, Talarico sweep last night. I wasn't too interested in the elections happening last night, I'll be honest, but I watched IRI's coverage of it. Once we get into the more serious competitions, then we're gonna be doing live coverage of it. I just didn't really feel like that was... I haven't really been too interested in what's going on with the inter-party stuff between Talarico and Miss Crockett. So, shout out to Jasmine, though. She is a firebrand, and don't feel like she is gonna be going anywhere. She will most definitely be staying within the party. She's gonna be a prominent voice. So don't get upset about that. I hope Al Green wins the runoff election. I do too. I do too. But anyways, let me get Morrowind started. I've been playing another new game besides just Conquest of Elysium called High on Life. Or not High on Life, what am I saying? That's a game created by Justin Roiland. No, it's called Schedule 1, and I've really been enjoying it because you can make all sorts of new different combos for substances, so... I really think that it's pretty fun. Remember, it's not a war unless we're talking about dead US troops, then it's again a war. Yeah, well, 6 service members have died. I think we know 4 of their names. And I am going to beat MAGA over the head with those names for the rest of Trump's presidency. I am going to say you, just like they did with Laken Riley, just like they did with countless others. What about 6 U.S. service members that fucking gave their life for what? A less stable Iran is all I'm seeing right now. But we will see. We will see. Who knows? Maybe these bombing these people's houses will usher in a brand new democracy. We can hope. We can hope. I don't think it will. I think it's just going to lead to more destabilization, and it's going to lead to something similar to how we always see power vacuums happen in the Middle East. Maybe Iran will be the one that actually prevails, though, right, guys? You know, I understand being against the Ayatollah. I am against the Ayatollah and that dictator running the state. You know, I am glad the Ayatollah is dead. How can it not work? But to sit here and think we're doing really much of anything is foolish, in my opinion. Get out of here, Cash. Nobody wants to see your face. Nobody wants to see it, but I do think we need to remember, as this is happening, we need to remember the Epstein files as something we need to bring up. You know, it feels like they've kind of faded out of the public, or not the consciousness. We're still very focused on it, but there's not as much media coverage, understandably so. But we must not lose sight of what's important. Airstrike till they love us, right? Like, if we were serious about this, no hesitation to put boots on the ground and help the people of Iran. There would have been no hesitation. We need to be fully committed. Bombing them isn't going to do shit. As much as I would like it to, you know, I would love if bombing places led to more freedom. Unfortunately, it doesn't. We need an actual plan, and Trump is unfortunately unable to find one right now. God damn, why is there so much good shit in here? It's not necessarily good, but I mean, raw ebony? Yeah, I'll take that any day of the week. Any day of the month. Get rid of these 2 shields, they're not really worth much. But, yeah, this is, it just doesn't make sense. We would have went in there with a plan if we were actually going to, try shaping Iran into a new democracy. And you can't have cold feet either. Like, this is just ridiculous. We're gonna get cold feet here soon, I guarantee you. Because of my disability and keep me occupied for a while? Well, hell yeah, Kayla. I am super glad to hear that that you got something to help keep your mind occupied. That's always really important, in my opinion. I have, I get depressed sometimes, you know, I have depressive moments, and gaming helps relax my mind, take my mind off things for a little bit, so I understand that. I guess the reason I'm talking about Iran a lot right now, besides it obviously being a huge news story, is I was in a little bit of a debate with some Aloner Cord. We were more discussing about New Vegas and who's the better governor, who would governor that state of the new California Republic better. But towards the end, we did get into some discussions about what's going on and all that, and I don't know, like, you can be happy the Ayatollah is dead, but still think this is a super wanton approach that will not result in benefit for the Iranian people. I don't think that's that hard to articulate. It was so gross watching Caroline Leavitt lie today. We're defending the homeland. Oh my god. Yeah, so that's something else. Are they admitting defeat? Like, it feels like to me they're admitting defeat. We did not take out their nuclear capabilities. Either we've lost or the Iranian people are extremely competent. And not the people. It would have to be the leadership. And I'm sorry, but I don't think the leadership of the Ayatollah or the IRGC is anything to talk about. His death was not good. We have radicalized an entire new generation. Well, I don't necessarily look at it that way. The Ayatollah was unpopular. You know what I mean? And the youth that were in the IRGC were already pretty radicalized. What I'm afraid now is there is a power vacuum that has been created. And if the IRGC doesn't stop the bleeding, there will be new factions starting to take root. And I have a feeling they're going to be far more repressive than the original IRGC. Probably take a few years. Oh yeah. Off topic, you should do a no fast travel run in Morrowind. Probably well, that's what I'm doing, basically. That's basically what I'm doing. I'm just traveling the countryside right now and accepting quests that come to me. Looking for a home. But that's kind of what I planned for. Khomeini's death isn't a big deal in Iran, but the rest of the Muslim world is it's radicalizing millions. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. Well, in that case, yeah, probably. No doubt there. Yeah, it was not the smartest move we've ever done, believe it or not. Of course I've got rattles. Why wouldn't I get rattles? Anyways, we'll start this show up here soon. It's more of a chill day today. A little loosey-goosey with it, you know? I'm thinking about playing Schedule 1 with you guys here soon. You know, the gameplay has never really been a specific focus of the channel. It's more just a background thing, but it is pretty fun. I think petrodollar is fucked. Yes, the price of oil is rising exponentially right now. Who would have guessed when you attack a huge producer of oil, the price of oil goes up? It's like, now they're gonna say this. You know, when Russia invaded Ukraine and we had to put giant sanctions on them, that was all Biden's fault. But now that we have taken unilateral action against Iran, oh no, there's nothing. Yeah, we're not doing it. Or Trump did nothing bad. Get ready for the massive amounts of cope we're about to see. What do you guys think it'll be? The problem is that the dollar has been dropping so much lately, we don't even know how much actions are affecting it, or if it's just the usual drop. Yeah, their sell-off of bonds and nobody buying bonds, I think the dollar is living on borrowed time. Well, I hope not. That would suck. That would be very bad for a lot more than just the United States. That would be horrible for a whole host of people. Excuse me? What's going on here? Whoa, sir! Sir! What was that? That is some BS right there. Loser. Looked like a slave pit. I gotta free those slaves. I've gotta free those slaves. You can... Not a fan of it, but what I'm seeing... Yeah, I know what you're saying, but... Yeah, it would be very bad. And really hurt a lot of people. So I hope you're not right. I hope you are wrong. I agree with you, though. I see what you're saying, and it is concerning for me as well. Yeah, it's pretty terrible for all those nations that are hooked to the dollar, so I hope not. You know, I hope you're wrong, but I do, you know, I see your concern. I have a feeling I'm not supposed to be here. I'm sure it's fine. Hey, how are you? We got a Dwemer, a shock centurion? What's going on? What is this place? Disappearance of the dwarves. Well, damn. He's got a Daedroth and a shock centurion. This is a nice crib. You got a nice place here, honestly, man. Kind of shocking. See, this is what I want. I want a spot like this. Inside of a giant mushroom. I think that would be nice. Anyways, we should probably get started on the main show. You know, I've probably lulled my audience into a sense of boredom more than enough, so... By the way, if you guys are enjoying the stream, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And also, if you guys, hold on, feel like donating, feel free to donate to the Ko-Fi link there. It helps me improve the quality of the stream in more aspects than you can imagine. So... Feel free. Anyways. I've been getting a lot of Agartha edits, I've noticed. Some of them seem very racist, honestly. Like, I don't know. They just don't seem kosher, in my opinion. I'm gonna watch this, we'll watch this video by Warfronts as well. Yeah, I don't really have much. I did want to start off the stream by just showing you guys this. This looks fun. It doesn't need the sound, you'll get it. It's a new Call of Duty map that's coming out. I was shocked too. Yeah, it actually comes with a custom mission where you have to essentially, free some of Epstein's victims. Yeah, interesting, right, guys? Look at that. It's kind of like a take on, it's kind of like a take on, what's the word I'm looking at? Hatred? You guys know that famous video game. Yeah, it's kind of, you know, I was kind of shocked when Call of Duty announced it, but, they said they want to go in a bold new directions. Donation must only be used on weed? Yeah, that's all I use it on. No, I'm joking. If you do horizontal streams, make sure to create a new thumbnail and title. Yeah, I'll probably do unique names for thumbnail streams. But yeah, kind of crazy. They're announcing a new. I couldn't believe they went there, but they decided to. Here, we'll watch it just for posterity one more time. I mean, all new guns. They really went all out for the Epstein DLC. Now I'm wondering if this one will have the glitch or the Easter egg where if you press Slick Willy, it presses painting 3 times, you actually get a custom dialogue line, depending on your age. Yeah, it's a bold new direction Call of Duty is going in, and I, for one, I'm supportive of it, you know? If our own government isn't gonna take pedophiles down, at least Call of Duty will. You know what I mean? At least Call of Duty is gonna be able to do that. My chat isn't updating, that's so annoying. Alright, there we go. Wow. Yeah, I for one am pretty excited about the new update. I think it's or the new DLC. I think it'll add. It really definitely adds a lot. It needed to be done. Yeah, I mean at this point, someone's got to hold the Epstein class accountable, and our government isn't. So why not let Activision Blizzard take a shot at it? Wood workout? What is this? This was streamed 3 months ago. It has 403 views. This is just a video of people cutting wood? There we go. Hey guys, if you ever needed a video of people cutting wood, go to Wood Workout for some tips. They've got it out there. Wow. I can think of a few reasons why not. Well, you know, sometimes somebody's got to hold the class accountable, and unfortunately, our government isn't. So, considering their own history of sexual abuse, hey, that was the Blizzard side, okay? That had nothing to do with Activision. That was the Blizzard side, okay? And we should have. Where is that? Okay, sorry about that, guys. I need to get the sound ringer that's like brr brr bada beam brr brr bada beam tung 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 sahur. You guys know what I'm talking about? I think that will be a magnet, a pussy magnet. All right, anyways, we're gonna calm it down in the music section and get to the main show. By the way, if you guys are enjoying the stream, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel and gets me boosted. And if you have been wanting to see horizontal streams, I got some good news for you. Soon we'll be doing horizontal streams. Anyways, let's get to the PBS NewsHour. Let's check it out.
Good evening, I'm Amna Nawaz.
And I'm Jeff Bennett.
The Absolute Chads. Sounds like a Zelda SFX.
On the NewsHour tonight, the U.S. escalates attacks on Iran as Americans scramble to evacuate from the region.
It is a challenge, no question about it, because airports are closed, airspace is closed.
Congress prepares for a war powers vote to limit President Trump's military authority. We speak with the top Democrat on the Senate Intelligence Committee and with Trump's former National Security Advisor, John Bolton.
And Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem faces congressional scrutiny over the killing of 2 American citizens by immigration agents.
We got a lot of PBS NewsHour. Go support PBS NewsHour, donate to them.
Major funding for the PBS NewsHour has been provided by
Cunard is a proud supporter of public television.
A lot of really
On a
good
voyage
work.
with Cunard, the world awaits. A world of flavor, diverse destinations, and immersive experiences. A world of leisure and British style.
Right there, yeah.
All with
British
Cunard's
style.
White Star service.
See, it's so sad that the Brits are funding our PBS NewsHour rather than our fellow Americans. You know, there's a reason. There's a reason we broke from the crown, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I'm gonna say. There's a reason. Peas and mash? I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna eat peas and mash every night. Oi, spotted beans! Spotted beans? Sound good to you guys?
the ongoing support of these individuals and institutions, and friends of the NewsHour, including Kathy and Paul Anderson, and Camilla and George Smith.
Oh, we got some.
And with the ongoing support of these individuals and institutions.
Excuse me. I did ripped out oxygen from my lungs.
This program was made possible by the contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you.
Viewers like
Thank
you,
you.
what is this? Excuse me, what are you?
Welcome to the NewsHour on this day 4 of the American-Israeli war with Iran. And while
I don't
U.S.
like me
and
being in
Israeli
water.
jets continue their punishing attacks inside
what,
Iran,
motherfucker?
the Islamic
want
Republic has
this.
widened
I
its
can
targets
swim if I
throughout
want
the
to.
Arab states of the Gulf
Let's
and
go.
against Israel.
American diplomatic targets in the Gulf were hit overnight, and almost all the civilian airspace throughout the region remains closed. The U.S. State Department, after
I got
telling
something
hundreds of
that's
thousands of
really
Americans
gonna-
to leave of their own accord and on their own,
It's gonna
reversed course today
shock
and said the
him,
U.S.
some
is
could
working
say.
to provide military and charter flights to evacuate Americans wishing to leave. All the while, the death toll from the American-Israeli bombardment mounted inside Iran. Nick Schifrin again begins our coverage.
In Tehran, the iconic Freedom
That thing
Square
looked fucking
engulfed in
terrifying,
war.
by the way.
Rescue workers responded to an apparent Israeli airstrike that left cars charred and pedestrians stunned. and jets targeted what remains of Iran's leadership. This building, housing a regime advisory council, was flattened. Just to the south, in Qom, an Israeli official confirms it targeted a meeting of senior clerics choosing the next supreme leader. Iranian state media claim those clerics are all safe. But tonight, Israel says it also struck what it called a, quote, secret nuclear headquarters, where Israel says Iran had shifted its nuclear infrastructure after it had been struck by the United States last summer. Across the capital, explosions sparked defiance.
The Americans think they can force us to surrender with missiles and so on, but they can't do such wrong things. We'll certainly defeat them.
And pain.
They killed all of my people. They dropped bombs. They hit us again. They killed people's children.
Remember, guys, they are in the streets celebrating right now. Remember, this is what celebration looks like, okay? This is what celebration looks like. A sister mourning the loss of her sibling. That's what it looks like, folks.
Many children today were laid to rest, one with her backpack still on. Iran says
Jesus fucking Christ. That is embarrassing as hell. That is our U.S. military, ladies and gentlemen. Just fucking sickening. This is why I say it's not planned, it's wanton. It's just destruction for destruction's sake. They don't care about the Iranian people. Are you joking? They just want destruction for destruction's sake. Oh, jeez. Why do we... Okay, we don't have to fight, actually. If you don't want to fight, that's fine. I mean, I didn't need to be here. I really didn't need to be here, dog. Don't you worry. You know, I actually... You know what? Fuck it. You want to fight, Ben? You want to fight? Let's fight. You want to throw fucking thunderballs at me? Yeah, this is pretty disgusting, though, and I'm deeply ashamed. I'm deeply ashamed. Bombing a fucking place that holds children?
Strike killed more than 100, mostly school children. The U.S. says it's investigating. But the war is spreading. Israel pounded Beirut, targeting the senior leadership of Iranian ally Hezbollah. Commercial airplanes are still taking off, even though one flew into the smoky sky. Israel also deployed troops into southern Lebanon in what an IDF official said was not deep but spread widely. They're responding to Hezbollah rockets and a warning today of, quote, all-out war. Today, thousands of Lebanese families filled roads away from the Israeli border, fleeing a war they didn't sign up for. But Iran is resisting this Israeli-American war by targeting American soil in the region. Today, U.S. officials said an Iranian drone struck the parking lot next to the Dubai consulate's main building. Nobody was injured. But this Iranian drone attack follows another one overnight on the embassy in Riyadh and an attack on Sunday on the embassy in Kuwait.
Our embassies and our diplomatic facilities are under direct attack from a terroristic regime.
Today on Capitol Hill, Secretary of State Marco Rubio urged all Americans across the region to leave as quickly as possible.
We have identified and continue to identify charter flights, military flight options, and expanded commercial flight options, meaning working with the airlines to send bigger airplanes with more seats.
Last night, the State Department told Americans across 14 countries to evacuate immediately. U.S. officials says that includes more than 1 million people. 9,000 Americans have managed to leave the region, alongside Europeans relieved to be back home.
You hear the bombings.
This is the Israel bomb alert. Let me open that up real quick. Screen might go dark for you guys. One moment.
Oh, the Zelda sound was Belle?
Oh, hold on. Is that my dear friend Kalinda that I see? That I spy? Kalinda, go check her out.
You know what? Fine. We'll go with that one. Is everything okay? What's the night news TLDR? Oh, there was just an
Oh, that's the sound. Bring, 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 bring. Sounds like a Ring doorbell camera. Go check out Kalinda if you guys haven't liked and subscribed to her already.
Or them stopping the bombing, and I mean, it's really, really strange. I mean, it's not a nice situation and environment to be in at all.
The challenge we are facing is airspace closures. If a country closes their airport, for example, in some cases the airports have been hit. So the airport in Kuwait was hit. So if an airport's been attacked or the airspace is closed, then we can have the planes lined up to go, but we can't get them to land because we don't have the
I do wonder, why was there no warning to let Americans know to get out beforehand? I didn't see any news of a warning or anything like that. So, what is this? That's the way you do these chat rooms is the way I learned. Well, hell yeah, I'm glad to hear that. Here soon, Kayla, I will be switching formats to horizontal live streams, so don't forget to catch me there. The vertical live streams, they unfortunately are just not the best for audience retention and growing an audience. Believe it or not. So I believe the horizontal format allows people to go back and watch VODs easier and stuff like that. So we will be switching
conditions to land there.
If it's not unprecedented, it is.
And it's actually easier for me to edit, to make vertical videos with that, as opposed to me just cutting up like a part of my stream. It's actually, it's harder to edit, but it's easier to streamline, I guess is the better way to put it.
Unusual in its scope.
Ambassador Janice Jacobs had a more than 30-year career in the State Department and was President Obama's most senior State Department official in charge of helping Americans overseas.
I think the first advice was to tell people to shelter in place. Now we're telling them to leave. It is a challenge, no question about it, because airports are closed, airspace is closed.
Why wasn't there an evacuation plan, and will you send planes to get people out?
Well, because it happened all very quickly. We thought, and I thought maybe more so than most, I could ask Marco, but I thought we were going to have a situation where we were going to be attacked.
Today, President Trump tied the evacuation.
As it turns out, ladies and gentlemen, if you listen to Marco Rubio, Israel goaded us into attacking first. I mean, Jesus, dude. How are we are supposed to be the power that decides if we're going to attack or not. But, you know, for anybody that doesn't like Israel, and I don't not like Israel, you know what I mean? I think the people there are amazing. Their government is just so shitty right now. But for anybody that wanted restraints on Israel, they shouldn't have voted for Donald Trump. I find it so fucking funny that all of MAGA is turning on Israel now, but they are Donald Trump is literally the guy that said, I'm going to be Israel's best friend. What the fuck do you think he meant by that? Do you think he was going to put limits on these guys? No. And now the government has full access to do whatever the fuck it wants. Unfortunately, Netanyahu has played the fucking political system. And he has full fucking, you know, and he has full reason to try to prolong this war as long as possible. I think Trump actually got Netanyahu to attack first, and it was don't let him know I want this move. Maybe, but I mean, I think they both have interest in getting rid of Iran, but I don't know. From the way it sounds like Trump is saying here, it was kind of hesitant at first, but once he saw that Israel was going full hog, he didn't really have a choice. But maybe I'm wrong. I could totally be wrong there. But this is just embarrassing. Like an embarrassing display. George Bush did a better job. Think about that. And they do need to be explaining what they're doing and what our plan is moving forward to the American people and to the rest of the world. But especially to the American people, because that is a requirement for our, even if you don't need, you at least need to tell us what's happening. I don't want to hear this cope that it's, I don't want to hear the cope that this is for operational security. Okay, it's not operational security to just be asking what's our plan. That's not going to break the OPSEC, okay? Just to know what the situation is. That's what Trump wanted us to think. Well, Israel started it, so we had to finish it, but Trump and Bibi planned. Well, here's the thing. Either one, they look incompetent. In my opinion. So, I think in this war as an entirety is an L for Donald Trump, because this is not what his people wanted. Or this is not what people wanted. Maybe MAGA may have wanted this, but this is not what people voted for. I know it's hard to believe, but when he said no new wars, people believed it. I know that's crazy, but they did. Well, he just ruined that all in a matter of a couple months. So I don't have much. I don't believe in the OPSEC thing, and I also don't believe in the. Well, I'm conflicted if it was Netanyahu or not. What kind of floor mat? You said, what is that? I'm not sure what you're referring to there, Kayla. If you're talking about in the video game, I don't know. They're very cool, though. I like the Dunmer style. But yeah, I just don't think the OPSEC is a good argument, because it's not operational security to tell us at least, the very least, what are our goals, right? That's something every war requires some goals. People don't just fight each other just because. Or at least I hope not. But what are our goals? What are our strategic interests? What are our overarching plan of action, I guess? There's just so much they could be informing us about that we've seen in previous wars. Unless their plan really is to just bomb them. Just bomb them into submission. And if that's what we're doing, well, I don't think that's going to work, because Israel did that with Hamas for a very long time. And Hamas is still, even to this day, adversarial and aggressive towards Israel. So, bombing into submission did not help. So what's our actual, what's a realistic goal? Maybe getting maybe we could put some CIA agents in the population to, I don't know, grow a popular resistance front. Maybe we could coordinate with the public right now and see if there is a popular resistance front. There are so many things we could do. And I'm all for subterfuge. I literally just said, creating the CIA creating a popular resistance front. I'm all for subterfuge. This is not subterfuge. This is wandering in a place and having no plan. So, anyways.
Evacuations to his argument that he had no choice when to start the war.
You see, we were having negotiations with these lunatics. And it was my opinion that they were going to attack first. They were going to.
It was my failure of leadership and diplomacy that we had to attack first. That's what I'm hearing. I am a horrible diplomat. I'm not very good at making deals. And I failed at diplomacy. That's what I'm hearing right now. Am I off? Am I wrong? I don't think I am. Who knows?
To attack. If we didn't do it, they were going to attack first. I felt strongly about that.
The war has challenged the U.S.'s ability to deploy enough missiles to intercept Iranian drones and missiles across a dozen countries. And enough munitions to wage a war the president said was planned to last about a month. But U.S. officials say the war has entered a new phase, and they can now use weapons that are more plentiful.
As if Iran wasn't going to attack first. So, the facts of the matter are, they don't care about your feelings. And, you're gonna have to deal with that, bubs. I swear. These people are the biggest snowflakes. Donald Trump amongst the largest of them.
Leading to President Trump last night to write, "We have a virtually unlimited supply of these weapons. Wars can be fought forever, and very successfully, using just these supplies." That is a stunning reversal to first-term Donald Trump.
This country, I campaigned on ending the endless wars. We're all over the world fighting wars. Half the places, nobody even knows what they're doing over there. But really, the plan is to get out of endless wars, to bring our soldiers back home, to not be policing agents all over the world.
We will keep America out of foolish, stupid, ridiculous foreign wars.
But the U.S. is warning tonight this foreign war will last as long as necessary.
Nick Schifrin joins us now, along with White House correspondent Liz Landers. Good to see you both. Liz, we'll start with you. President Trump met with the German Chancellor today at the White House. We saw him take questions from reporters. One of the questions he got was, who could lead Iran next? What did he say?
This was the first time we've heard the president take questions from the press on camera since this strike was launched over the weekend. And now that the supreme leader has been killed, there's a question of who's going to lead the country. He was specifically asked today in that Oval Office meeting about whether or not the Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi, the exiled Crown Prince, the son of the former Shah of Iran, could lead the country. Here's what he said.
It would seem to me that somebody from within maybe would be more appropriate. I've said that. He looks like a very nice person, but it would seem to me that somebody that's there, that's currently popular, if there's such a person. But we have people like that.
Didn't heal.
But the president has also said that many of the other options that the administration was looking towards as potential successors in Iran have also been killed now. We heard yesterday from the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, that this is not a regime change war, so still questions about who succeeds there in Iran.
And Nick, you reported that Israel struck the meeting of the assembly that is picking the next supreme leader in Iran. What more do you know?
Well, as you and Liz have been discussing, this is a real key decision point for the future of the Islamic Republic. And there are reports tonight, we haven't confirmed them, but there are reports that that assembly has chosen Mojtaba Khamenei. He is the son of the current supreme leader. And if this is true, if this is the case that he's been chosen, this is not in U.S. interest. Analysts tell me that he represents a continuation of his father's policies, backed by hardliners within the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, with whom he fought in the trenches of Iran's war with Iraq. That said, analysts do tell me that he's probably in the best position to consolidate power at this point. Among the other candidates being considered, Hassan Khamenei, the former supreme leader's grandson, considered a relative moderate. You see him there on the right. And Ali Reza Arafi, considered a hardliner. But as Liz pointed out, many of the other moderate candidates were killed in that first Israeli airstrike.
And Nick, the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, who we saw in your piece taking questions there from reporters, he sought to explain, clarify his comments yesterday about Israel and the start of this war. Fill us in.
So yesterday, Secretary Rubio really suggested that the U.S. hand had been forced by Israeli decision to go in regardless of what the U.S. did. Today, echoing President Trump, he removed Israel from that equation. So listen to what he said yesterday first, and then today.
We knew that there was going to be an Israeli action. We knew that that would precipitate an attack against American forces. And we knew that if we didn't preemptively go after them before they launched those attacks, we would suffer higher casualties and perhaps even higher those killed. Once the president made a decision that negotiations were not going to work, that they were playing us on the negotiations, and that this was a threat that was untenable, the decision was made to strike them.
Again, removing Israeli decision from the U.S. decision to go to war, as the president say. But a reminder, Jeff, as we've been talking about, it was the U.S. that provided Israel the intelligence that allowed Israel to start this war with that initial attack.
Lefty government has the IRGC offices in Canada. Time for Carney to wake up to Delta Force. No, we're not going to invade our neighbor, Peter. I'm sorry, the world is not Fallout. It doesn't quite work like that, my friend. I know, hard to believe, but let me know when you come back from reality, or come back to reality, I should say. And we can maybe have a discussion. Feel free, if anybody disagrees with what I have to say, by the way, feel free to call in and let me know how wrong I am. I mean, it shouldn't be that hard. Well, let's not be too hasty. Yeah, right? Trump is a freak? Amen. I think Trump is an absolute disgusting despot. And he doesn't believe in our democracy. MAGA, the cult of grab them by the P word, grab what they want, tell everyone else how to live in peace. Yeah, this is the guy that ran on No New Wars, ladies and gentlemen. I just want you to remember that. He said there would be no new wars under Donald. And what happened, ladies and gentlemen? Well, it seems as though he started a new war. T supporter? I didn't know you supported Trump. Sorry, unsubbing. Yeah, Trump is the one that supports T-ism. He said right-wing T-ists are just people trying to clean up crime. But let's talk about what Donald Trump is doing, my friend. I don't give a fuck about Canada, no offense. Let's talk about how Trump has failed to keep his campaign promises on almost every aspect. I do not personally believe in communism. You're fighting ghosts, my friend. It is healthy to have an imaginary friend when you're a child, but I don't think you are a child. As a grown adult, it is not good to have imaginary friends. Listen, and I have no, I think we really needed to, we really should have, or should be, holding Israel a lot more accountable, but the facts that we're just taking direction from them, it seems. I don't know. Maybe we're not. Who pays me? That would be you, beautiful people. If you guys support what I do out here, don't forget I do have a Ko-Fi link. Here, let me pull it up for you guys. Yeah, I have a Ko-Fi link if you guys feel like donating. I do a stream every day where I talk about the news and politics. Times do vary, but luckily, I've been a lot more free recently, so feel free to donate to that link. But I am not paid by anybody, actually. I do it all for the love of the game, my friend. I'm gonna be famous someday, you know? That's what my mom says. She says I'm gonna be famous and a big star. Do you not think I'm gonna be that, Peter? You don't think I'm gonna be a big star? So what if I'm on TANF and Wick? It doesn't matter. That's just helping me achieve my dream. Anyways, rage bait aside.
That killed the Supreme Leader.
And Liz, let's talk more about the politics of this, the domestic politics, namely the pushback from parts of President Trump's MAGA base.
Yeah, so yesterday we saw that the White House is putting out allies and officials, including Vice President J.D. Vance, who was on Fox News last night, pushing back on some of this MAGA opposition. However, we're still
character to put out during this. Strong character. He is definitely going to help the public. Rest assured, when it comes to J.D. Vance, ladies and gentlemen, he's really gonna move the needle, I've heard. Wait, what is this? Why? Oh, that's the lockpick. Okay. Do you have to equip the lockpicks? That's what I've been wondering, actually. I don't really care because I use magic, but interesting to know. Just kind of jiggle it in your hand a little bit. Kind of cool. I really don't want to part with this dwarven mace, but I might have to. I really don't want to part with it, but it may come to
some
that.
of these high-profile conservative voices speaking out against this military action, including Megyn Kelly, the former Fox News host who has a very popular YouTube show. She said that Americans shouldn't die for a foreign country and placed blame for this conflict on Israel. But the president himself actually hit back on some of these doubters in a phone interview that he did with a journalist, Rachel Bade. He said of Megyn Kelly, he said she ought to study her history book a little bit. He also responded to Tucker Carlson's criticism of him, saying that he has no impact on me. And he also talked about MAGA writ large. He said, MAGA is Trump himself. It's not the other two, talking about.
Damn, folks. Well, this is what I've said. This is what I've said from the very start. MAGA is only Trump. It's only Trump. There is no one else. And it's why you guys are going to fail miserably. No one else. Isn't that interesting? It's almost like he wants the Republican Party to die. He's had a change of the heart. And now he's like, you know what? Let's kill him.
About Kelly and Carlson. I also asked the White House, too, about former Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's been very vocal about this in the last few days. They sent me a statement saying former Congresswoman Greene quit on her constituents and the America First movement in the middle of her term. President Trump is fighting every single day to make America great again. We don't have time for quitters. That's from Davis Engel, a White House spokesperson. One source who's close to the White House I spoke to earlier today on the phone said that the whole messaging around this is seems like the president.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that. All right, let me go to my unbans. You've been a faithful patron, so we shall unban you. And I am a benevolent God. Oh, we hit 400 subscribers, by the way, guys. Thank you so much. That means the world to me. All right, one moment, though. It's kind of weird how we unban people. So, I think I got to go to the studio. We'll go to the studio here, and we got to go to... Is it community? Or is it settings? Oh, geez. Okay, here we go. Community moderation. User management. All right, which one? What's your main name? What's your main? If you give me your main, I'll unban you now, but you gotta give me your name. The real RJ. Okay. The real RJ. Let's look at what we got here. Wow, this is a real prison. Should I just unban everybody? That'd be kind of silly. That would be kind of cool. We should unban everybody one day. The real RJ. Let me see. I'm not seeing it. Is it RS? We'll unban them. And RJ's. I've unbanned the people that have the word RJ in their name, so there we go. We've unbanned a lot of people, actually. 3 people. I've let 3 people out of the vaults. 4 people now. Alright, this is dangerous. Alright. That's all I could find, so I've unbanned everybody that has an R even remotely to their name. So let's see if let's see what goes on. Let's see if the spirits come to play.
Is message testing through the media. This person described it as the president conducting a focus group of 300.
I truly am a neutral chaos individual, you know? I mean, come on. Doesn't that just sound a little silly? It's okay. I'll live as Sandy. Alright. Well, I'm sorry, man. I tried to find. Who knows what spirits I just let out, by the way. They're probably going to be some fun individuals popping in later. They probably don't even, you know, hopefully they've moved on, though. Hopefully they've moved on.
150 million people that is playing out through the press, Jeff.
Okay. Liz Landers, Nick Schifrin, our thanks to you both.
Thank you.
Let's turn now to our special correspondent in Tehran, Reza Sayeb. Reza, more airstrikes on this now 4th day of war. Tell us about what you saw today.
Yeah, just another intense, unnerving, frightening day of airstrikes here in the capital, Tehran. And it just continues to be an astonishing scene, seeing these jet fighters, hearing them zoom ahead, and then hearing these earth-shaking explosions followed by thick plumes of smoke. The most intense air raids taking place overnight from about midnight to 2 a.m. Then it was a quiet morning. And then during
cyber attack to the stream? Let me check. I'm not seeing it. Maybe they do. Do I like the attacks? Not really. I think we need a plan before we go in there. Especially if the plan is just bombing them, I don't think that's going to work.
Afternoon hours in broad daylight, more airstrikes.
Meanwhile, we've seen Iranian state TV has been reporting that funeral and burial plans for the late Supreme Leader, the Ayatollah Khamenei, are now underway. What more can you tell us about that?
Yeah, Iranian officials say they're planning for it, but few other details. They say there's going to be a ceremony here in Tehran, and they say the late Supreme Leader is going to be buried in his hometown of Mashhad in the shrine of Imam Reza. And obviously, this is going to pose a huge challenge for the establishment, for the government. They want to project stability and continuation. They want to honor the Supreme leader, a spiritual leader that to them died an ideal death, being martyred in the month of Ramadan at the hands of the very same countries that he preached against. So they see this as an opportunity to energize their base. But obviously, this is a country that's under attack, being bombed every day. How are they going to plan this? How are they going to execute it? We'll wait and see.
Reza, as you know, and we've spoken about, when he first announced the U.S. and Israeli strikes, President Trump called for the Iranian people to, quote unquote, seize control of your destiny, essentially calling for regime change. And in the days since, we have seen some videos, some reports of people celebrating in the streets and toppling monuments. Are you seeing any indication of a larger protest brewing?
At this point, we're not. Obviously, when the death of the Supreme Leader was announced, there were pockets of celebrations throughout the country, but millions of others came out to mourn his death.
What?
The bottom line is, Iran is a country of 90 million people. These are 90 million voices. Are there many people among this population that didn't like the Supreme Leader, that despised them? Indeed, there are. But there's also millions of people that despise the United States and Israel more, especially with this war. And there's other Iranians who are simply confused. They feel helpless. They feel under attack, and they want some stability. So that's the indication of this uncertainty that exists right now. Again, at this point, no sign of any mass protests, mass uprising, and no indication of an organized opposition.
I thought they were going to rise up, ladies and gentlemen.
In the coming days, it so happens that people come out, it is very likely that armed security forces are going to be waiting for them. They're aware of that possibility.
That's our special correspondent in Tehran, Reza Sayah, reporting tonight. Reza, thank you.
Thank you, Amna.
Well, that screams positivity right there, I think.
Trump administration officials briefed members of Congress today on the war with Iran. That says both chambers gear up to vote on a War Powers Act that could limit President Trump's authority in carrying out strikes. To discuss that, I'm joined by Senator Mark Warner of Virginia. He is the top Democrat on the Senate Intelligence Committee. Senator Warner, welcome back to the NewsHour. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much.
So you were briefed today with all the other senators, yesterday as part of a smaller group in the Gang of Eight. Were you given any evidence in either of those briefings that showed Iran was an imminent threat to the U.S., to U.S. military assets in the region, or to U.S. allies?
Absolutely not. This is a war of choice brought by Donald Trump. In many ways, and I say this as a strong supporter of Israel, the timing of this war was dictated by Bibi Netanyahu.
Damn.
And while I support Israel, I think at the end of the day, when American interests are at stake, when we've lost 6 soldiers at this point, we have to show the direct and immediate risks to America. That was not the case. And we've seen now over the last week or so, and I've been in every one of the classified briefings, there have been now 4 reasons given for why this war was started. One was to take out Iran's nuclear capabilities that the president claimed was eliminated 9 months ago. Then it was moved to the ballistic missiles, which was a rising threat against American bases in Israel, but not imminent. Yesterday, we even heard an answer about getting rid of the Iranian Navy. We'd never heard that before. And then we've heard from the president regime change. And as your prior reporter indicated, you know, Iran's a complicated country of 92 million people. If the president has called upon the Iranian people to rise up, and let's say in a few days, 100,000 Iranian protesters go to the street and the Iranian military kills 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, does the United States have any obligation to do anything? So we are in a war of choice where we don't know what success will be viewed as, and we don't know what the next steps will be.
Let me ask you more about the protesters in just a moment, but in terms of the long-term goal here, we've heard articulated in various forms by the administration, if it is to prevent a nuclear-armed Iran, a regime that is hostile to the U.S. and hostile to its allies, hostile to its own people, as you mentioned, the tens of thousands of protesters is killed, is that a goal that is worth it in the long run to try to take out this regime?
Well, I shed no tears for the death of the supreme leader and the Iranian leadership, who have American blood and other blood on their hands. But the thing is, if the president had chosen to try to take an action like this in January, when the Iranian people were on the streets by the millions, I would have been more sympathetic, or at least listened to his case. He couldn't do it at that point for two reasons. One, the military capability that we needed in the region, the aircraft carrier, the Ford that is home ported in Norfolk, Virginia, was off the coast of Venezuela on another one of his military follies. And then the ability to have our European allies help us, who also don't want Iran to have a nuclear capability.
Well, like I said, they just don't have a plan, ladies and gentlemen. They have no idea what we're doing here. We have no clue. We're driving in blind, and we're hoping that the people rise up. I guess that's what he's saying. Yeah, this is some of the dumbest decision making the Trump admin has engaged in a long time. Oh, you don't buy rubies? Oh, loser.
Occupied because of Trump's, I think, folly of trying to go after Greenland. So he couldn't act then. He's now built up these forces for months on end, acted not because of an immediate threat, but, in concert with our ally Israel, which is an ally. But if they had all this time to plan, where in the heck are the plans to get rid of the literally hundreds of thousands of Americans who are now caught in a war zone with no way out?
Senator, if I may, part of the reasoning we heard today from the administration was that this is an Iran that was weakened in a way that it wasn't before, and that was part of the timing, they say. But to your point, if we are where we are now, if people in Iran do take to the streets, will and should the U.S. support them in a way that they haven't before? What would you like to see happen now?
Well, let me answer your first question. Iran is weakened, and that is a good sign. But Iran was not going to be stronger a month from now if those negotiations, where it appeared that there might have been some breakthroughs. Why not let the negotiations follow through a little bit? Then we could have maybe rallied more of the world to our side if Iran was not willing to make concessions.
But should the U.S. support protesters now? Would you like to see that happen?
The very real question is, if the Iranian people go to the street because the president has called them to the street, I am very reluctant, and I don't think the American people want to put American troops on the ground. But you can't protect those protesters from the air. And what I fear is happening, and let me be the first to acknowledge, I'm a Democrat, but I think our exit from Afghanistan in many ways was a disaster. I think we are now seeing in Trump's war of choice the beginnings of what could be even more disastrous about how we protect our interests in the region, how we protect our allies in the region who are now being hit,
yeah, dude.
And actually how we actually do something for the Iranian people.
Senator, we've got 30 seconds left. I have to ask you, you said you would support a War Powers Act that could be voted on as early as tomorrow.
My chat hasn't been updating for some reason. He's full of shit. We have plenty of other carriers. Ha 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 ha. What a retard statement. Well, whatever your name is, if you disagree, why don't you just call in and tell me why I'm wrong? Tell me why I am wrong. Why it's actually super based for America to just be bombing the locations they are, and why we should be doing it. Just tell me. The sundowning of MAGA is upon us. 27 flip seats. Oh yeah, it's over, dude. It's over, and it might be over for the Republican Party if they don't find something else to tap into.
Yes or no? Does that have the support to pass?
I would hope so. But I am so, frankly, frustrated with my Republican friends who constantly say, oh, Mark, you're right, you're right, you're right, but never have the courage to vote. If we don't at some point say the President of the United States has to follow the Constitution,
I'm a vet.
then
we
I'm
can
not sure
fight
where
for 4 or 5 wars at the same time. Dude, you being a vet has nothing to do with your military knowledge, to be quite honest, especially if you were just a grunt. I'm just gonna break that bandage. I appreciate your service in our military, but it does have zero hold on what I think about whether or not you're knowledgeable about geopolitics, especially.
we're headed.
That is Senator Mark Warner of Virginia joining us tonight. Senator Warner, thank you. Good to speak with you.
Thank you.
And a note that tomorrow night we will speak to Republican Senator.
I changed the oil on the trucks. I know everything. Yeah, Hegseth was a vet too. You gonna tell me that man's smart? Oh yeah, Hegseth. Hegseth, he's really, real smart guy.
Katie Britt of Alabama.
Thungar's Trade House, nice.
For an additional perspective, we turn now to John Bolton, a national security advisor in President Trump's first term. Ambassador Bolton, it's good to have you on the program. You have consistently maintained that eliminating the Iranian regime is the only way to end the nuclear
Seems to
threat.
have done well for himself, only because he's sucking Donald Trump's taint. If he wasn't sucking Donald Trump's taint, he'd probably be in a Burger King by now.
Is this specific military action by the U.S. and Israel, is it justified in your view?
It's totally justified. Whether it's carried out in a successful way on many different aspects is open to question. But to me, the case to eliminate this not only proliferation-minded barbaric regime, but to eliminate its international terrorist threat is ample justification for doing what the president has announced. I don't think you need to make an argument that the threat is imminent. The threat is bad enough as it is. Judgments of imminence can be wrong. I think we're perfectly entitled to do it. I think it is a war of choice, as most wars are.
If that's all
and I think it's something
everyone would be. No, my friend. That is really all it takes. He was on Fox News as an anchor before he became Secretary of War. So, it's not cope, my friend. It's just facts.
Something that if it were
Facts
explained to
all the
the
way
American
down, my
people,
friend.
they would support. That hasn't happened yet, and that's one of the things that troubles me. But the objective of overthrowing the regime is critical because the regime has consistently shown it will not abandon it.
That is a reason not to go to war. If we have any, we can't have a high civilian death rate, my friend. Yes, if we are bombing people and missing, then yes, that is a reason. Hey, what's up, Pat? Yeah, and he fucking failed at throwing an axe, dude. Are you really gonna trust a motherfucker like that? I'm not trusting Pete Heggie with my life after seeing that absolute failure. Says who? What do you mean? Anyways.
Its pursuit of nuclear weapons, and it will not abandon its use of terrorism and its support of terrorist proxies. If anybody wants peace and stability in the Middle East, this regime has to go.
Bolton?
On this being a war of choice, as you said, you heard Senator Warner say that the U.S. is following Netanyahu's timing on this, which is what Secretary Rubio suggested yesterday.
Oh, do you want to bomb civilians? Do you want a high civilian death rate? Who says we need to not attack innocent people? I'm playing Morrowind. Yes, I can. Yes, I am. You can be a terrorist if you want, but admit what I'm doing. I'm not being a terrorist, so I don't see how that applies to me. I'm literally playing Morrowind and talking to people on the internet. I really don't see how that's terrorism, but I could be wrong. Yo, daily reminder to get a job in Israel controls the U.S. Who did you vote for, user? Who did you vote for? Please tell the class who you decided to vote for. Hello, you think no one complained about World War II? I don't know what you're talking about. I really don't. Is this World War III? Is that what this is? Am I being led astray, lady? Is this World War III? Maybe it is. Maybe I'm the fool. Yeah, I get dude, the collateral damage argument. This is obviously exceeding it. I wasn't calling you a terrorist. That was supposed to be... Oh, who was in favor of bombing civilians. Okay, sorry about that. And I get what you were saying now. I apologize. You know, it's hard to decipher when you're just reading chat. Because you're an idiot spelled with U-R. I love to see that. That is an interesting argument. I'll really consider that. Thank you.
By it today. Is the U.S. driving this strategy, or is the U.S. being drawn into Israel's long-standing campaign against Tehran?
Look, even I don't think Donald Trump got suckered by Bibi Netanyahu. Trump knew full well in his first term how Netanyahu felt about the need to overthrow the regime. I certainly did my best to try and convince him. This argument has been out there for a long time. I'm sorry it took this long finally for somebody to take action. I think the world would have been a lot safer place if we had done it 20 years ago. But the idea that somehow we were tricked into this doesn't give Trump enough credit.
Regime change in the Middle East, as you well know, has been messy, to say the least. It's been prolonged by, instability, sectarian violence.
It's one missile. Dude, listen to yourself. No missiles should be hitting civilian targets, my friend. That's not collateral damage. That's sloppy planning. Listen to yourself. So embarrassing. It's just one missile that flew into a school. I mean, how bad is that, really, guys? We're not being fair. Think about how hard it is not to kill civilian targets. I mean, it's real hard. Israel has a hard time with it. I mean, come on, guys. Yeah, probably because we're the United States, and that's... Oh, God, you motherfucker. You motherfucker! I'm a god. I'm a god. How much health did I have? 2 health, ladies and gentlemen. Anyways, let's get back to the game.
Civil conflict. Does it appear that the Trump administration has a plan for what comes next in Iran after the military action?
No, and I don't think it's possible to have a plan. I think from the U.S. point of view...
That is so stupid. I don't think it's possible to have a plan. It's just impossible to know what we're doing when we go into a into a country. We just have no idea. We'll leave it up to chance, ladies and gentlemen. Throw the cards on the table. A couple soldiers die, it's fine. Living on a prayer type shit. For real. We're halfway there, guys. We're halfway there. I guarantee that's what we'll be hearing for the next 10 fucking years. As we get drawn further and further into the conflict.
View, we want the regime gone because almost any other conceivable regime is going to be better than this one. The likely outcome is...
Yes, I know every war has civilian collateral damage. That A, doesn't mean it's acceptable, and B, doesn't mean it's doesn't... You're not giving it the credit that of what happened. You're basically saying, oh, well, you know, we missed. Oopsie, we dropped a bomb on 150 school children. Oh, well, that's just what happens. No, my friend, that's not how our military operates. Not at all. Can you name me another time we've dropped a bomb on 150 children plus? Name me another time where that has occurred. I'd be into it, you know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we have dropped a shit ton of bombs on a various type of children. Not just school children. Who knows? Maybe I'm the one that's wrong.
Is that if you can fracture the regime at the top, turn Revolutionary Guard general against Revolutionary Guard general against Ayatollah.
When Obama was in office, please point to when it happened. What the event was. Watch. I guarantee they're Googling right now. And they're not getting the answers they want. God damn it. What do you mean? Obama definitely killed people. I know Obama killed people. Whoa, careful now.
The opposition and...
That sadly killed a child and another that killed a teenager. Well, unfortunately... yeah, exactly. That's nothing compared to 150 children. You in real time you obviously know they're Googling it right now. And they're like, what? Obama didn't kill 150 people? Yes, user, I understand that Obama was way better at deporting people and didn't lead to as much suffering as Donald Trump does, and overall just did a better job on immigration. I know, but we're not talking about that right now. The Amira shelter bombing. All right, let's look it up. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's see, 150. That's the number we gotta beat here. Oh, who was it? Who was it under? It wasn't oh, it was during the Gulf War. Well, interestingly enough, who was in charge during the Gulf War? And again, that is not children. They are civilians, and that's deeply shameful. Edited 2 days ago. Isn't that interesting? Okay, see, look, you have to reach out a Saudi-led coalition backed by the U.S. That's not the military, my friend. These are not points in your favor. All right, let's see. The hospital strike. (2015) attack of the trauma center. Oh, 42 people. Yeah, that's not 150 children exactly. Horrible. But not a children, not 150 children.
Elements of the regular military, not the Revolutionary Guard, the regular military can be brought over.
But it's just sad that you're trying to justify it. You're like, look, we've killed a bunch of civilians. It's okay to kill civilians. No, it's not okay, dude. You're coping. This is hardcore cope. But things happen. No, my friend, things just don't happen. You can't, you're just hand waving away 150 children? You don't think we should have some better intel before we bomb these places? You don't think anything could be fixed here? You don't see anything wrong with 150 people dying. It's just like, that's acceptable? That's just war? War is hell? We're absolutely railed, by the way. Okay, yes. I will condemn the Hiroshima bombings. I'll be the brave man.
You could end up with, in the interim, some kind of military government that would then allow a consultative process for the Iranian people to decide what
User, who did you vote for? Did you vote for Donald Trump? Because I see you have a distaste for Israel, but yet you're still supporting the guy that said he would be Israel's #1 friend. So I'm just wondering, maybe you're a Kamala supporter and I'm wrong.
Next. If you say the prerequisite to regime change is knowing that you've got a 500-page
We're not smoking them. Are you listening to what's playing on screen? We just smoked. We didn't smoke. They just elected a new leader. Great. So are we just gonna keep killing them and they'll have a new leader every couple days and we'll just bomb them and then another new leader and we'll just bomb them and then how's this gonna work? We don't know because there's just no there's no clear plan from the administration, but I'm interested to see your cope.
Plan for what comes next, then you're basically saying you don't believe in regime change. When we changed our regime, when the founding fathers signed the Declaration of Independence, they didn't have a post-monarchy plan either, and somehow we muddled through.
Can air power alone accomplish regime change without a costly ground commitment?
Well, the purpose of the air power, if it's applied correctly, is to destroy the instruments of state power, particularly the Revolutionary Guard, the Quds Force, and the Basiji militia. The instruments of state power that threaten the United States and its friends and allies in the region, Israel and the Gulf Arab states, and that also oppress the people of Iran. By destroying these instruments of state power, you weaken the ability of the regime as it collapses to retaliate and inflict injuries abroad, and you weaken its ability to repress dissent among its own people. This also says to leaders of the regime, their days are numbered as one facility after another is destroyed.
They haven't been totally emboldened by their leader being martyred. Cope, dude. Vicious amounts of cope.
Says to those people who are potentially able to come over to the side of the opposition that maybe they'd rather not go down with the ship in this case. And it also tells the opposition that belatedly, at least, help is on its way.
Given what you just said, then how do you assess Iran's response, the way it has responded with strikes and coordinated missile attacks against multiple Gulf states?
I think they're making a series of terrible mistakes. They have a finite number of missiles and drones. Presumably, we and the Israelis are systematically trying to destroy them. If I were in their shoes, I would have.
Bro, listen, bro, user, you're just anti-Semitic, bro. You're just anti-Semitic. I hate to tell you. You're just an anti-Semite. The Jewish Bible. You mean the Torah? Oh my God. The Talmud? Alright, we don't like anti-Semitism here, guys. Straight up. Like, if you guys think any, Jewish people are vastly different than us, than non-Jewish people, then we're gonna have disagreements, and this just isn't the channel for you. Have you at least read it? My brother in Christ, I used to fucking study the Kabbalah. You are distorted. Anyways.
Focused all of my retaliatory attacks on American military bases in the Gulf and Israel, I wouldn't have spent a single missile or drone attacking civilian targets in the Gulf Coordination Council members across the Gulf. They have now turned those Arab states from governments that hoped the regime would go but didn't want to be involved into governments that now have to be involved. I think it's just
you must be
signing,
Jewish.
adding
my God,
additional.
that's so sad. That is so sad. No, my friend, I have my own beliefs. I don't typically share them on the internet, but I am far from believing in the faith of Judaism. Far from Christianity as well. I don't think any of those are quite on the money. But I think it's sad that you think there's something inherently wrong with somebody who's Jewish. I think that shows a lack of understanding and a lack of creativity as well, especially if you believe in this whole big theory that they're all part of some secret cabal. You just don't understand geopolitics, user. You just have no idea how geopolitics actually work. And because of your lack of understanding, your ignorance, you blame Jewish people. So disgusting, bro. And sad. It's you're uncreative, you're unimaginative. You think things can just be boiled down. To just boil down to something as simple as, oh, well, the Jews own everything. Look up the Rothschilds and BlackRock. My brother in Christ, do you realize most of the... I'm not even going to address... This is just the anti-Semitism hole, dude. No matter how much you say, no matter how much you try to convince them that there's not a secret cabal of people running the world, they just don't believe it. Yeah, it's just sad, dude. Because, like, I know this isn't, like, the Republican Party, but I don't know why fucking Nick Fuentes and Candace Owens are, like, popular individuals. But to be fair, I mean, I'm very much against people like Hassan, and he does his own flavor of anti-Semitism, so... Cope more. That's not cope, my friend. Okay, user, why don't you call in and debate me, and we can actually have a serious discussion about who owns most of the world. Let's do that. I guarantee you end up sounding like a goddamn crazy person. Well, you see, there's a connection here. Anyways. Yeah, dude, I'm sorry, but, you don't like what the Bible says? You're an anti-Semite? Who says that? No, my friend, I don't like you being discriminating and painting our Jewish brothers and sisters as another. That's what I'm against here, my friend. They are a huge part of our American fabric, number one. You know, so many Jewish people have contributed. No, I don't think Chef is a black Israelite, although he may be, who knows?
Signatures to their death warrant.
Lastly, should
You're protecting so hard? What are you talking about? Yes, I'm protecting my fucking Jewish brothers and sisters who on a daily have to deal with this disgusting anti-Semitism. It's bullshit, dude.
the U.S. have anticipated?
Exactly. They have amazing delis. Why can't we have why can't we just go with the deli stereotype instead of the fucking Jews own everything stereotype? Why not let that be your fucking racist stereotype, dude? Like, for fuck's sake. It's not racist, you know what I mean. But this is ridiculous.
Anticipated better the need for a large-scale evacuation of Americans in the region. I mean, was there a breakdown in contingency planning?
Well, I don't think.
Well, Sandy, I really do feel bad for people like that have gone down this like hole of anti-Semitism. You know, there was the right-wing hole, and now there's the left-wing hole. Or not left wing, oops. Well, there is that. But now there's an anti-Semitism hole people can fall down. All sorts of holes being opened up for people to fall down. And I just find the anti-Semitism one so sad.
I think we know enough from the outside to answer that question. I think the bigger question is why there was a lack of preparation over a period of time, not to talk about the specifics of the operation, but to make the case for regime change. And I think the answer to that is within the Trump administration, the isolationists led by J.D. Vance were doing everything.
You know, the anti-Semitism is what turned me off to conspiracy theories. I used to be big into conspiracy theories, but they all end up just looking for another. And because America is such a diverse place, the only people they can think about is the Jews. It's insane.
Everything they could to avoid this. And that has, in effect, substantially impaired the president's ability to make his case politically. So these are hard times for the MAGA isolationists, and all I can say is too bad for them.
Former Ambassador John Bolton, thank you for your insights, sir. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. And it's thought terminating. You know what I mean? It's absolutely thought terminating because instead of looking deeper, instead of discovering, you know, why are the world powers acting like this and who, what are the politics and strategic choices behind them? You just think, oh, well, it's the dark hand of the Jews. You know, it's the dark hand that just, It's just sad, bro. Hey, and Sandy, I know what you mean, because I have some people on the left that are starting to deal in anti-Semitism, and I'm just absolutely ashamed to even have them part of my party. They're not, like, they're not getting invited to the party, you know, but unfortunately they still show up when it's, or I guess fortunately in some ways, you know, but nah, fuck that. I don't want these anti-Semites in my party. I think they, yeah, I took that back. I took that back, okay? No, I mean, a majority of them are not, but like the people that have gone the super far left, Hamas good route, it's just embarrassing. Israel did not kill JFK. That's not even the leading, like, 5 theories, bro. It was probably... My theory is the social service members got absolutely hammered the night before, and they accidentally shot the dude. That's not true. I know a lot of progressives that don't hate Israel. I'd say if you brand yourself like a communist, for sure, or like maybe more socialistic people, but I understand why we have Israel as an ally. I understand it, but that doesn't mean we need to let them go wanton. It's weird, like, as an Christian, do I starting point out every war in Africa except Sudan with UAE, funded by Christian leaders. Yeah, very strange, isn't it? Well, the thing is, like, with the most controversial shit usually rides to the top. Honestly, I should be way more bombastic and way more offensive and way more if I wanted to get super popular. But that's just not who I am. I'm not going to give you bullshit. So here soon, though, I'm really going to be increasing the quality. So anyways.
We begin the day's other headlines on Capitol Hill, where Democratic and some Republican senators pressed Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem over what they described as...
Sandy, you will not find a bigger fan of Western liberalism, but I do think it can, you know, it can always evolve and change into something better. We should always be trying to better ourselves and better our societies and better just our beliefs and ideologies in general. But you will not find a bigger fan of liberal, Western-style liberal democracies. But, you know, who knows? These other cultures definitely have good ideas. So I think we should always be learning.
Overly
and that's
aggressive.
Kind of the basis of, in my opinion, that's a lot of what liberalism believes. But
immigration enforcement. Noem's testimony before the Judiciary Committee comes as Congress remains deadlocked over DHS funding, raising concerns about national security at a moment of escalating conflict in the Middle East. Lisa Desjardins has more.
Secretary Noem today fielding her first direct questions from Congress since the immigration crackdown that was deadly in Minneapolis and elsewhere.
Actually, we might watch this.
Within seconds, interrupted by chants of "Abolish ICE." The killings of U.S. citizens Renee Good and Alex Preddy by federal officers earlier this year led to...
San Diego, there's just like there's different interpretations of Islam, of Judaism, of all these, there's obviously interpretations of the Christian document that you could use for, you know, war and stuff. It's I'd say it's kind of similar to that, you know what I mean? Like it's I don't think it's necessarily just how, the book of Islam can be used for war, just like the books of many other religions have been used for war. It's all really up to the interpreter and what they're preaching. I don't think the Bible has like a universal hold on peace. You know what I mean? Or jihad? I disagree, man. I think it's up to your interpretation, and also I don't think the last books, the Bible ends on kind of a horrible note. Revelations. It's been a while. I have not read the Bible in a minute. It's been probably 10 years since I've read all the major ones. I was interested at the time. When I was quite young, I was very interested in what all these religions believed in. None of them really fit right for me though, personally, but I think it's beautiful if somebody finds their faith and believes. Yeah, good for if you're a Christian, but fuck, it's still kind of horrible though. You know what I mean? It's still kind of bad. It's not great. It's not the best.
Widespread demands of accountability. Noam defended Homeland.
It's still a long time before you get to the new world. It's going to be a minute.
Securities operations.
It's important that we distinguish between disagreements over policy and the department's operational responsibility to enforce existing law that has been passed by Congress.
Minnesota Democrat Amy Klobuchar, a candidate for governor, questioned the tactics.
There are times in which violence is used by God himself as an example. But don't force people to convert, pay a tax, or die. Hey, that is something I will give the Bible credit for. It does say that government should be separate from the state in a few lines. So the last part of the Quran is actually called Mankind and is just, "Oh Lord, protect me." Well, like I said, I am not an expert on these. I just had an interest when I was younger. I honestly do think I should go back and listen to an audiobook version of all of them. Maybe we can do that as a member stream together. We can go through the Bible, the Quran, and the Torah together. That sounds like a fun time.
In her state.
Do you agree that it is unacceptable for your agents to ram into someone's door and drag someone out in their underwear and below zero temperatures when they have the wrong guy?
Our officers...
Hey now, that guy could have been a real meanie head. Yeah, this is disgusting. To get off of the Bible talk for a little bit and the religion talk, I mean, at least let the guy get some clothes on, dude. It's freezing out there. Is he that much of a threat? Like, that's what I'm wondering. Like, is this guy really that much of a threat? Not American, I'm glad to say. Carlin said Americans love war, especially if they get to bomb black and brown people. It's difficult to prove he was wrong. I mean, I believe in a different vision of America, one that champions freedom, democracy, and justice for all. However, right now it is hard to disagree that we're not cheering this on. But it remains to be seen. It remains to be seen what happens. We're all just kind of waiting for the dust to settle while bombs are still being dropped. So
conduct targeted operations and utilize the law processes that are given to them and the tools.
That you think that's wrong.
They needed to identify that individual, and
They couldn't identify him by looking at his identification.
And 2 Republicans didn't hold back.
Hey,
beginning
Mr.
to get
Tillis.
the American people to think that deporting people is wrong.
I won't lie. Now that he doesn't have to contend for his seat anymore, he was going off in this hearing. He was fucking pissed, dude. He was like, you fucking shot you. He was even going after the dog state. You shot your fucking dog, and that's horrible. You should never shoot. It was. We got to watch this hearing. It's
Wrong.
pretty great.
It's the exact opposite. The way you're going about deporting them is wrong.
In a tirade, Thom Tillis of North Carolina called on Noem to resign.
I was fucking impressed, dude. I know he's leaving and he can build up his spine, but this is powerful coming from these longtime Republicans. Cooper is winning that seat? Oh, for sure.
John Kennedy of Louisiana pressed her on spending $220 million.
Damn, Kennedy. Dude, Kennedy's a wild card. I swear to God. He is a fucking wild card. Like, I know he said some insane shit. Remember, Mr. Kennedy famously. Let's watch a highlight from him. To put it inside of me. Yeah. Famously. Wait, I'm thinking of the right person, right? Senator Kennedy reads book. I'm thinking of the right guy, right? Yes. I want you to put it...
Let's take 2 books that have been much discussed. The first one is called All Boys Aren't Blue, and I will quote from it. I put some lube on and got him on his knees.
I put some lube on and got him on his... Okay, remember this.
And I began to slide into him from behind. I pulled out of him and kissed him while he masturbated. He asked me to turn over while he slipped a condom on himself. This was my ass. And I was...
This was my... He's very confident about whose ass this was. Listen again.
Asked me to turn over while he slipped a condom on himself. This was my ass.
This was his ass, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, guess what? I don't want that in my... It's not in kids, little children's books. It's in, like, teenagers' books, my friend. And if you don't think teenagers are gooning, then I've got some bad news for you. And I'd rather personally them understand what's happening, and if they ever get into a situation like that, to know what is expected and who and what exactly is going on there. Because it's sure as hell not the parents that are going, that the straight parents that are going to know anything about that life. This is me being real for a second. Okay? This doesn't sound, this is nothing, this does not compare to the type of porn that I was watching in high school, my friend.
and I was struggling to imagine someone inside me. He got on top and slowly inserted himself into me. It was the worst pain I think I have ever felt in my life. Eventually, I felt a mix of pleasure with the pain.
Yeah, so this may sound disgusting to straight people, but unfortunately, some people, gay sex is different than straight sex. And you're not going to have any normal person to tell you that are in these types of schools. I'm sorry, I don't think this is nearly as horrible as some people think it is. Am I being controversial here?
Close quote. All boys aren't blue.
Protect our children. Minors shouldn't hear that shit. Bro, they're watching that shit. Are you joking? They're watching that. They're already seeing it. They're already seeing gay sex and all that type of stuff. Are we just going to ignore that fact? And teenagers are going to experiment sexually. That's just a fact of life, dude. Do I think they should not do that? Yes, of course. I think you should wait until you're 21 to have your first sexual encounter. They're watching it. See, you're being deceptive. Because I said these types of books shouldn't be banned from high schools. You're not being honest. It's not sick, my friend. I think your fake outrage is sick, because that's not what children... you said children, so number one, children aren't reading that. And number two, I'd rather have this come from a trusted place like a library or an author who knows what these people are going through and can understand and address their emotions, rather than somebody who has no idea what they're talking about, or from a porn video. Would you rather them be really disgusted by these thoughts and then have them watch some videos online and think that's how sex works, and then meet up with somebody that's going to abuse them and take advantage of that? And by the way, there hasn't been a single school genderqueer was found in, so I think you might be wrong about that. Oh, look, now they gotta say morality. No, it's less moral. You're being less moral. You're saying let it up be to the whims of some of their parents who could very well be abusive or not accepting of their homosexuality, or get taken advantage of. It's not morally sound. Your approach leads to more victimization. Yeah, and those books typically talk about relationships and what is to be expected from another partner. And believe it or not, sex is part of people's lives, especially teenagers' lives. I'd rather they do it with their fellow teenagers rather than looking online and finding some weird older guy that's going to take advantage of them. And they're going to need a guide on how to interact with their fellow people, their fellow homosexuals. If I care about the truth. My brother, I'm arguing something completely... I'm okay with that being in the schools, so... I'm okay with it being in high schools. Let me specify. And Bill brings up a good point. Even if they are fully accepting of their children's sexuality, that doesn't mean they are going to be good at explaining it to kids or will be explained it at all. Well, I live in a world where I personally wish everybody would wait till they're 21 to have sex. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen. My brother in Christ, that was one small argument I brought up in a much wider argument I'm making. So, fuck it. I'm conceding, yes, these books are in there. Yes, and I want them to be. So please explain to me why they're a bad thing, rather than just, oh, there's sex in there. Yeah, there's sex on almost every teenage boy and girl's phone. It's called Pornhub. This is not a burn, but are you speaking from experience? No, I'm not. I am not speaking from experience, but I have heard lots of stories where that is the case. I'm okay with it being in high schools. Yeah, I think you haven't provided an argument why it's morally unacceptable. I've provided multiple arguments on why it's morally acceptable. It helps children discover, it helps children with their sexuality. It helps them see how same-sex relationships works. It helps them understand what is going on with their bodies. You are sitting here saying, oh, it's just bad because there's sex in there. My friend, please engage with the arguments. Please engage with the arguments. Why 21? Well, I think when you're 21, you're much more emotionally developed and you understand the meaning of sex. Sex is typically supposed to be a very interpersonal thing and something that people engage in that love each other, typically. Now, I'm not, you can go off and, as long as you're 18, you can have as much sex with people as you want. I just think it's something you should wait for. Correct. I acknowledge the reality, right? I can have a perfect world, but I can acknowledge the reality that people typically have sex before the age of 21, and definitely 21, and typically before the age of 18. And graphic sex, I don't think it's nearly as graphic as you would like to make it seem. But I accept the reality that a lot of people typically don't wait to have sex before 21 or before 18 even. So I lost my virginity at 15, so it should be in school under high school. Yes, and it's not an epic own if you say, look, it's it was found in there. Yeah, they should take it out. We can agree on that. In middle schools and elementary schools, probably not the best place for books that discuss sexuality. But if you are going to pivot, you have to agree that it's okay for it to be in high schools. If you're going to pivot, that's you agreeing that it's okay to be in high schools. So I'd be interested to see your statements there.
On TV ads that feature the secretary front and center.
We went through the legal processes, did it
Did the
correctly,
president
worked
know
with
you were gonna do
OMB.
this?
Yes.
He did.
I think would be helpful to know is how effective
Okay.
that communications has
So if it's okay for high schools, then we can meet in the middle. If you agree that if you think these books at least have some benefit, and you can argue that, then I will agree. Obviously, I don't want... Yeah, okay, well, at least you don't think they're despicably evil. At least I could explain to you. Yeah, that's something else I do try to fight against. We're not all crazy on this side. I don't... I think you can understand at least where I'm coming from. I think that's important. At least understanding is the first step, at least.
been that
Well, they were
overwhelmingly
effective in your name recognition.
But other Republicans, like South Carolina,
Intellectually honest as you want with your past. What are you talking about? I lost my virginity with a fellow 16-year-old, so I wasn't M-worded or anything like that. So,
Carolina's Lindsey
anyways.
Graham laid the blame on Democrats.
I'd like to make sure if there was a bad shooting, it's documented as such and people pay a price. But I will not apologize to anybody in this room to try to clean up the mess that Biden started and you empowered.
Directly behind Noam, so-called angel families, some of their loved ones killed.
Should have access? No, I didn't. I did not. You are completely pulling that out of the bag. My position is that these are okay to have in high schools. I don't think they should be in middle or elementary schools, and I think I've made that fairly clear. So, who's the one being intellectually honest now? I wonder how many people ranting about these books and films support the pedophile in charge. Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Very selective outrage, it feels.
Killed by undocumented immigrants, others from fentanyl and other drugs smuggled in illegally.
Leo Javier.
Well, this is what I'm saying now. This is what I'm saying now. So, that's my position. If anybody wants to debate it, they can.
And Marimar, would you please stand?
Connecticut Democrat Richard Blumenthal introduced American citizens detained by DHS agents. One woman was shot 5 times on her way to church. Noam said she wasn't familiar.
I only call Trump a pedophile because I'm trolling. Well, I don't think there's any super clear evidence, but my position on that is changing day by day as they focus less and less on the Epstein files. So it wouldn't take much to convince me.
With those cases, but throughout she repeated that her officers follow the law and have dramatically cut down illegal border crossings.
You don't talk about the good work that they do to protect people from being victimized by people that are in this country that want to conduct violent crimes against them or take advantage of them. The laws need to apply to everyone.
Democrats argued she's breaking laws, not following.
Yeah, no, I mean, he hides 50 documents from the files. I mean, come on. Music?
Either you are utterly incompetent or you are violating laws with impunity.
Most Republicans defended her.
31 million Texans.
I like the YouTube emojis. Excuse me. I'm a big fan of the YouTube emojis, dude. I think they do capture a certain presence, you know? Kind of want to play a Schedule 1. I think we're going to do that real quick.
Thank you.
A divisive hearing and secretary who faces more questions tomorrow from House members. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Lisa Desjardins.
If my computer can run.
Meantime, another member of Trump's cabinet has agreed to face questions on a separate issue. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick will voluntarily testify in the House.
There we go. Finally. One of them. That's one, but we're missing somebody.
House Oversight Committee's investigation into the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. That's according to the committee's chairman, though no date has been set. Lutnick told Axios, quote, "I look forward to appearing before the committee. I have done nothing wrong, and I want to set the record straight." He used to be Epstein's neighbor in Manhattan and has admitted to visiting Epstein's private island back in 2012. Lutnick has not been accused of any wrongdoing. The 2026 midterm elections officially kicked off today with voters heading to the polls in Texas, North Carolina, and Arkansas.
Yeah.
In Texas, the most expensive Senate primary in state history has Republican incumbent John Cornyn fighting for his political survival in a three-way race that could force a runoff, while the Democratic race pits State Rep James Tallarico against Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. In North Carolina, voters are selecting nominees to run to replace retiring Republican Senator Tom Tillis in November. And Republican voters in reliably red Arkansas are likely to renominate Senator Tom Cotton and Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders as the party's candidates. In Georgia, the father of an alleged school shooter was himself found guilty of second-degree murder today.
Count 2, cruelty to children in the second degree. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty.
It took a jury less than 2 hours to find Colin Gray guilty of all 29 charges against him. Gray gave his then 14-year-old son the gun he allegedly used to kill 2 students and 2 teachers at Appalachia High School in 2024. Prosecutors say he did so despite sufficient warning that his son would harm other people. Gray joins a growing number of parents who've been prosecuted for the actions of their children. He'll be sentenced at a later date and faces a maximum of 180 years in prison. Officials in Pakistan say Afghan forces attacked its military positions along the border today, though there are conflicting reports on casualties. Pakistani authorities say at least 67 Afghan troops were killed, with local hospitals treating residents who were caught up in the fighting. Afghanistan's defense ministry rejected those figures, instead saying that Afghan troops repelled the attacks and killed 4 Pakistani soldiers. The conflicting reports come on a 5th day of violence, which started with the Taliban-led government in Afghanistan launching attacks last week as a response to earlier Pakistan airstrikes.
It must be clearly stated that we did not choose war, but unfortunately the Pakistani military regime has repeatedly violated our territory and martyred our civilians. As a result, no other option remained.
Pakistan says it does not target civilians and instead accuses Kabul of providing a safe haven to the militants who target the Pakistani government. For its part, Afghanistan's government denies those claims. There has been more fallout from the deal between the Pentagon and artificial intelligence giant OpenAI. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that CEO Sam Altman defended his decision on an all-staff call to allow defense officials to use the company's AI tools for classified work. It comes after he announced a revision to the deal to make sure OpenAI's technology would not be used for mass surveillance.
If you guys are enjoying the
last
stream,
night, he posted on social media that announcing Friday's deal so quickly was, in his words, opportunistic and sloppy. OpenAI's agreement with the Pentagon came shortly on the heels of a federal ban on rival Anthropic's AI tools. We have an update now on a story we brought you last night. The Trump administration is reviving its effort to punish law firms seen as supporting the president's political opponents, just a day after signaling it was dropping the fight. At issue is a series of executive orders signed by President Trump last year that would have hampered the work of 4 prominent law firms. Those orders were blocked by federal judges, and the Justice Department appealed. Yesterday, the DOJ said it was dropping those appeals, which was seen as a major retreat for the administration. Then today, officials asked an appeals court to withdraw that request, which seemingly puts the legal battle back on track. California's governor is criticizing the U.S. Supreme Court's decision to temporarily block a state law banning public schools from outing transgender students to their parents. A spokesperson for Governor Gavin Newsom said teachers should be focused on teaching, not forced to be gender cops. The law bans automatic parental notification if students change their gender identity or pronouns. California officials had argued that it gave students privacy, especially if they feared rejection from their families. But the Supreme Court sided with Christian groups who say it allowed schools to mislead parents. On Wall Street today, Iran worries weighed on the markets, though stocks ended well off their lows of the day. By the close, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was down around 400 points. The Nasdaq dropped more than 230 points. The S&P 500 also ended lower. And sky gazers around the globe were treated to a total lunar eclipse earlier today, commonly called a blood moon. It occurs when our planet moves directly between the sun and the moon, giving the lunar surface a crimson-looking glow, as seen in this image taken this morning from Idaho. Meantime, in Mexico City's pre-dawn sky, spectators gathered to watch as the lunar eclipse reached its final phase. While across the world in the Philippines, early risers witnessed the partially eclipsed moon move through the sky. The next total lunar eclipse is expected to occur on New Year's Eve 2028, so mark your calendars. Still to come on the News Hour, actor Delroy Lindo on his seasoned career and his Oscar-nominated performance in Sinners.
I think we're gonna skip the rest of that and get into I actually wanted to watch that Senate hearing with Kristi Noem. That looked interesting. Probably save the Middle East video for tomorrow. I'm gonna try to stream a little bit earlier, or a lot of bit earlier tomorrow. Probably around, I'm hoping around 10 or something, but we'll see. Where's the full... Okay, C-SPAN has it, but I want to see if they just have a highlights reel, maybe? Maybe. Let's see. Yeah, I want something that's like broken into parts is the issue. So I'm not really seeing that. That's okay. We can watch the full hearing. It's fine. We'll just skip around in it. All right, don't care about any
warrant is required to break into somebody's house.
Any help or a little break when you want to go in the back room?
If you know, if you need your
That
knob
states
sucked a little bit,
there are no bad dogs, just bad owners.
The chair now recognizes the gentlelady from California.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Secretary, for being here with us this morning. There's an old adage that states there are no bad dogs, just bad owners. One of the questions we have is, are there bad agencies or just bad owners and bad leadership? And so, I have a concern about much of what's happened in the enforcement region internally in the United States. And I'd like to show a video, the video number 1, if the staff could play that.
interesting.
Now, this was in January. ICE agents forced their way into the home of a United States citizen, Mr. Scott Thao, without a warrant. As you could see from the video, they pulled him into sub-freezing temperatures in his underwear. held him for a number of hours, and finally released him. You know, the Fourth Amendment says the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and provides for a warrant requirement to enter a person's home. Now, that was bad leadership, in my judgment, because, not in your part, the Attorney General has issued a memorandum asserting, I think incorrectly, I mean obviously incorrectly, that no warrant is required to break into somebody's house, contrary to what the Fourth Amendment.
Oh, sorry. I'm not really, I mean, they don't really discuss anything that I'm talking about.
Agencies are just bad owners and bad. One of the
lady from
Once
California.
I hit 500 subs, by the way, you guys will unlock that. But until
Thank you, Mr.
then,
Chair.
I won't be not really too much of a Piers Morgan watching.
Now, this was in January. ICE agents forced their way into the home of a United States citizen, Mr. Scott Thao, without a warrant. As you could see from the video, they pulled him into sub-freezing temperatures in his underwear, held him for a number of hours, and finally released him. You know, the Fourth Amendment says the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated. It provides for a warrant requirement to enter a person's home. Now, that was bad leadership, in my judgment, because, not in your part, the Attorney General has issued a memorandum asserting, I think incorrectly, I mean obviously incorrectly, that no warrant is required to break into somebody's house, contrary to what the Fourth Amendment provides, and that an administrative warrant, which is basically note to self, go ahead and break into anybody's house you want, is what's sufficient. So my question really is not about the illegal breaking and entering into that U.S. citizen's house.
How are you doing today?
But what is
By the way, if you guys are
policy
enjoying the stream, don't
about
forget to
taking
like
an
and
old man
subscribe. It really helps
in
out
his
the channel.
underwear out of a house in sub-freezing temperatures? Do you train agents not to do that, or are they trained to do that?
All of our law enforcement officers go through extensive training. Our ICE officers go through 58 days of training and 56 days of training. They have 28 of those on the job.
Okay,
but
so
beyond that, they are trained in constitutional law, which you referenced, so they all know.
I really, the question was about manhandling an old man in sub-freezing weather. So they're trained to do that?
They're trained in how to interdict someone, to detain them, and to take
So
them.
this man had done nothing. Let me show you another video. Show another video.
Oh, that's totally illegal. That's totally illegal. Yep. Yeah, for sure, guys, right? Nothing wrong there for MAGA. Anyway, we can do better than that, ladies and gentlemen.
So this
I know we can. No way, I
disabled
just
woman,
lost
she's a
some
U.S. citizen, Miss Raymond, she wasn't present.
All right, we're deleting this world. No way, I just lost to some fucking elves. Or not elves, dwarves. Elves don't exist in this universe, I don't think. No way in hell did I just die to some fucking dwarves. I'll tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, dwarves are disgusting creatures. They live inside of dark, dank abodes, and I would not trust them as far as I can throw them. Yeah, elf hate. Or elf. I keep confusing the two. Elves are more memorable, you know, dwarves. Whatever happened to the elves? There had to have been some elves in this universe. Come on. Who knows? Anyways. I'm going to be the son.
Protesting anything. She was on her way to a doctor's appointment. She has a traumatic brain injury, and as you can see from the video, your agents surrounded.
You know, dwarfs are the real people, right? No, dwarfs are fake. Dwarfs are a figment of our imagination.
Her car, they pointed their weapons at her, they broke her window, and they dragged her from the car. Let me show you another video.
Oh, what? Y'all some crazy. Y'all got no heart, for real. No heart. No heart.
Now, in this video, masked agents blocked the road with their SUV and used it to hit an American citizen driving in the right lane on her way to work after dropping off her child. As you can see, they drew their weapons, they drug her into the street to arrest her. She didn't know they were federal law enforcement because they were wearing masks. So the question I have is, are agents trained to break the windows of people whose cars they encounter and drag them out forcibly without asking questions? Is that their training?
Congresswoman, our officers are all trained for situations to where they're interacting with the public and where they are detaining someone or arresting them. What I would say is they always goes with their presence is when the enforcement action begins, the officer's presence, and then verbal commands. If an individual doesn't respond to verbal commands, then they go to soft techniques, which you see utilized throughout the country, and our officers follow that protocol and are trained in that protocol. You talked earlier about administrative—
Peter Dinklage in Iowa doesn't exist. Iowa doesn't exist. It's fake. Iowa is a fake place. I'm convinced of it. Dude, Iowa, come on. We all forget about Iowa. It's like one of those, like, I don't know. I personally hear Iowa and I'm like, oh, that place isn't real, but maybe I'm wrong.
warrants. Administrative warrants are the tools that you gave us. Congress gave us that tool in immigration law to use to go and detain individuals.
Yeah, I agree. They don't exist. No, dwarves unfortunately do, and they are a pest which must be exterminated. Not like dwarves as in like the species of fantasy. The fantasy species, not like dwarves, like we may have them.
Individuals who are in this country that have had final—
Dude, imagine how small of a mob they would have if they weren't just wanton stripping people of their rights. That would be crazy, right? Probably wouldn't have any. Probably be totally fine, honestly.
removal orders.
I will just note
also what
that is garbage law. The Constitution
the Supreme
trumps.
Court backed it up.
You're incorrect. There's a long line of cases,
the only
Mr.
tool we
Chairman.
have, ma'am.
The real lawyers on this
if
committee know that the Fourth Amendment
how you want,
provides for
but
a
it is the
warrant
law.
requirement.
It is federal law. The gentlelady's time has expired. The chair is now recognized.
Mr. Chairman, could I just do a UC request?
The gentleman is recognized for unanimous consent.
This comes from The Guardian. Worst of the worst, most U.S. immigrants targeted for deportation in 2025, 73% had no criminal charges. Documents revealed.
That's unfortunate.
That objection, the chair is now recognized.
Exactly.
Madam Secretary, how many detainers in 2025 did ICE issue to local law enforcement?
It was 201.
All right. You're gonna blow her a little bit. Thank you.
800,000 American citizens. And you should know that as a former member of Congress. Now, her brother said that Renee Good was someone who could make you believe things were going to be okay despite all the hardship because she chose optimism. Alex Preddy was a Boy Scout, a choir member, an outdoorsman from Green Bay who lavished attention on his beloved dog, Jewel. His sister called her brother someone who had a way of lighting up every room that he walked into. But only a few hours after they were gunned down by your agents, you called Renee a domestic terrorist. You said Alex committed.
But all seriousness, yes, Trump actually did fuck up Iowa's soybean and corn farming industries with his trades and tariffs. All jokes aside, I say Iowa doesn't exist just as a joke, but halfway. No, I'm kidding. No, these tariffs have destroyed our farming industry. Another industry that we are ceding to our enemies. Always good to see.
An act of domestic terrorism.
You're okay. I do that.
Alex's parents responded to your calling their son a domestic terrorist. They said the sickening lies told about our son by the administration are reprehensible and disgusting. Now, I want to give you a chance before the entire country to correct your false and defamatory claim. Based on what you know today, Madam Secretary, were Renee Good and Alex Preddy domestic terrorists?
This is a good question.
Congressman, what happened in Minnesota in those two incidents
Answer
was
the
an absolute
fucking
tragedy.
question. Oh my God. Answer the question. Just because you can disagree with what they were doing, you can disagree with how things went, but what you cannot do is just sit there and defame them and not say you were wrong. Just disgusting.
Were they domestic terrorists, as you said to the
My
country?
condolences to their families, because I know that their lives will never be the same after that happened.
Is that an apology for what you said?
Paramilitary force had to take them out. Because they don't know how to be, because they're not well trained. I don't think they care. I don't think they're sorry at all.
We, in those incidents, offer as much information as we can from officers and agents on the ground in a chaotic scene that gets.
I'll repeat my question, reclaiming my time. Based on what you know today, Madam Secretary, based on what you know today, were Renee Good and Alex Preddy domestic terrorists?
As you know, there's ongoing investigation.
Egypt is now sourcing corn from Egypt. Yeah, that's not, yeah, I mean, technically good for Egypt, but horrible for us. That should be our business, not theirs. We should be the ones selling the best crops in the world, not them, but we're not. We're just going to cede more and more ground to places like China, Russia. Get excited, guys.
Investigations that are being led by the FBI.
But you didn't wait for the investigation, did you? You didn't wait for the evidence. You proclaimed that they were domestic terrorists at the time. Why did you do that?
And you didn't wait to attack our law enforcement.
Why did you do that?
We're going into a dangerous situation.
Why did you call them domestic terrorists?
Is our ICE officers and our HSI officers that day risked their lives to protect that scene, so evidence could be reclaimed, so it could be used in the investigation. Because those violent rioters that were
So you're
there
proud of the fact that you called them domestic terrorists? Is that what you're telling America?
HSI officers put their lives on the line to protect that scene, so evidence so we could have.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. But you told a lie about them. You said that they were domestic terrorists. Do you regret that?
I offer my condolences to those families.
Wow.
And again,
Based on
what a shithead. That is disgusting. Absolute shame, dude. They should have nothing but, she should have nothing but absolute shame for what she's doing right now. Again, you can disagree with why they were there, why Alex Preddy and Renee Good were there, but
what you know today, were Renee Good and Alex Preddy domestic terrorists?
There's ongoing
I don't even think you may be wrong, Stanley. I know you're saying it as like a meme, but dude, Trump and Melania are a strange couple. I'll give you that.
investigations, and so I
So
can.
you still don't know? You think that's an open question?
I would think you would want there to still be investigations going
Should
into these
Preddy or
situations.
Good
Well, you
have
stated
shame? Well, they can't have it because they're fucking dead. Kind of hard to have something when you are fucking dead.
conclusion 2 hours after they were killed that they were domestic terrorists. I wanted to give you an opportunity to correct the record, not just for their family, but for everybody in America who believes in the truth and fairness and honesty.
In every situation, as facts come out, we relay
You know,
them and
your acting
communicate
ICE
them to
director, Todd Lyons, came before Congress. He said he had no knowledge whatsoever that Alex Preddy and Renee Good were domestic terrorists. None. This is your guy. He said that. He admitted that that was wrong. Why won't you admit it?
I will tell you the investigation's still ongoing, and we'll.
So do you regret speaking before the investigation?
I would say that in those situations,
you regret
the
that?
chaotic scene on the ground, we relay information to the American people that they're asking for. And as things change, situations change.
People were asking you whether they were domestic terrorists? And you decided that they were before the investigation?
As we learn more, we.
You don't want to say anything to their families?
I did. I said condolences.
For what? How about an apology for what you said about their loved ones?
My heart is with them, and we will continue to stand with them as they get a complete investigation into these situations.
All right. Well, let me ask you some questions of law if you can't handle the facts. Very simple questions of law, not trick questions.
Okay,
is it lawful for federal agents to shoot and kill?
That was a fucking killer. Don't lie, MAGA in chat. That was kind of a killer setup. Don't lie. Hey, Ratcliffe gets some good fucking. He's a good one, dude.
Kill a person for engaging.
Yeah, she's sending condolences to the families of domestic terrorists, I guess.
Engaging in peaceful protest and nothing else. That's a yes or no question.
Each instance is in peaceful protest. No, it's not.
Okay,
But
good.
I would say
Is it lawful for federal agents to shoot and kill a person for filming them on a public street? Yes or no?
No.
Okay. Is it lawful for federal agents to shoot and kill a person just because that person is lawfully carrying a holstered firearm under the Second Amendment in state law?
No.
And finally, yes or no, is it lawful for federal agents to shoot an innocent person or even
I meant Ratskin. Oopsie.
a criminal suspect just for driving away from them, according to the Supreme Court?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you got the law right, and I hope you would rethink what you said about two good, honest, faithful American citizens and what that means to their families when you say that as Secretary of Homeland Security.
Dude, like, even if you disagree with why they were there, and even if you think it was justified, I don't think that at all. I think it was murder, but even if you think it was justified, do you think they were domestic terrorists? Do you agree with the lies that people tried to spread about them afterwards? I don't think MAGA does, or I at least don't think Republicans do. All right, we got to get this auger online. This is going to be huge. Let's scry over here. Interesting.
Security. And your ICE guy has already retracted that, and you should retract it too. I yield back to you, Mr. Chairman.
Gentleman yields back. The gentleman from Arizona is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Secretary Noem, for being here today. Also, I want to acknowledge the Angel families. There are very few jurisdictions that don't have Angel families. Very, very few. Thank you for your courage and your willingness to be here today. I am grateful.
All right. Just going to give a nice polishing job to Kristi Noem. Always good.
From members of Congress.
You could have done
in the last
1,498 and done mine
That's
as well.
just individual letters. Sometimes they had 60 to 70.
Hold on.
They've committed no crime, have stopped and tried. In my letters, I said, one of the things you're most famous for, probably your quote of quotes, is we're going to go after the worst of the worst. The murderers, the pedophiles, the rapists, et cetera. In my letters, I said I agree with you on those things. People who are in this country illegally or not citizens who commit those crimes should be deported.
Amen.
But the facts show that most of the people that you have stopped and tried to deport have not committed any of those crimes. In fact,
there we go. Like I do not support people committing crimes who are here illegally, staying in the country. And neither should you guys. But you guys I've heard takes on the right where they want to keep them in our prisons. Oh, so you just want to provide them free housing and free health care? I thought that was the issue you had. Anyways.
Committed no crimes at all. I've got a study here from the Justice Department that shows that less than half as undocumented immigrants are less than half as likely as U.S.-born Americans to be arrested for homicide. And the pattern holds for assault, sexual assault, robbery, burglary, theft, and arson. And they're half as likely to be arrested for drug offenses. That's an NIJ study. In Tennessee, there was a study that was just in the Commercial Appeal, our local newspaper in Memphis, that shows the same, that they are very unlikely to commit offenses. For the folks that are here and your families, I'm sorry. It's terrible what happened to your children or your family members.
Might have.
But they are more likely, and citizens are more likely to be attacked by United States citizens who are not undocumented, who came here and are born here. They are more likely to commit these crimes. So why do you continue to talk about the worst and the worst when all the statistics show we're not stopping the worst and the worst? We're doing what Stephen Miller wants to do and set a record of deportations.
Oh, that was a fire. Why aren't we? No, I support that. If we are going after people who are bad, like the actual worst of the worst, quote unquote, then do that. But that's not what we're doing. That is not at all what we're doing.
Can I respond to you now, sir?
I hope you will now.
Okay,
It's
good.
been a year.
Well, thank you for your letters, and we have responded to those. When I came into office, there was years of letters that Mayorkas did not respond to, that we had to backlog and respond to all the letters that he received as secretary. In fact, one of those letters was 567 days old.
There we fucking go. Like, for real, stop filibustering. That is not why you are here, to spread your fucking bullshit. No, you're here to answer fucking questions, so do that instead of just filibustering like a coward, honestly.
Tell me about the letters I wrote you.
I have responded to over 1,490 letters that I've gotten from members of Congress.
You could have done
in the last
1,498 and done mine as well.
That's just individual letters. Sometimes they had 60 to 70 signatures on them, and we responded to every one of them.
Tell me about the worst of the worst.
The worst of the worst, sir. I think you've offended the families behind me today with that
comment. I did not intend to, and I think it's wrong for you to suggest it.
You're commenting on the fact that the individuals aren't violent reoffenders, and you keep talking about the fact that these...
I'm sorry, that's gross. She's weaponizing these families' trauma against the Senator Y? I don't know.
These individuals that are in this country illegally don't harm families.
No, I didn't say that. I said they're less likely than people born here. I didn't say that they don't do it.
The vast majority of these people behind me lost their children due to drugs, overdoses from drugs that came over the southern border. They died from their kids being hit on accidents on the roads that illegal drivers were driving, truck drivers.
That's horrible. But how many truck deaths a year happen? How many of them are committed by Americans, you know? Yes, it's sad that that happens, but let's stop weaponizing these families' trauma against them. Or against your political allies.
Marcus Coleman and Delilah's father has told the story over and over again.
All that's true and a given. That's true and a given, Ms. Noem, but you say you're only going after the worst of the worst, and you're not. Go after the worst of the worst. And if you did, people wouldn't find your department to be the worst department in the United States of America.
We do targeted enforcement based on intelligence and go after the worst of the worst. When we are on those enforcement actions, if there are people with those individuals, we confirm their identities as well to make sure that they have legal status in our country. We need to make sure that people understand understand that when you come into this country illegally, overstay a student visa, if you don't go in for your
I'm going to
court
reclaim my time
appearances,
because
if you're out of legal status,
I'm reclaiming my
then you need
time,
to
Madam
go home.
Secretary, please. That's one issue. Another issue is the fact of training. And an ICE Academy has Ryan Schwank, a former instructor and immigration and customs enforcement attorney, joined ICE in 2021
Yeah,
and
I know
resigned
what you mean, Bill.
February
I know what you
13
mean.
because he wanted people to know that he received secretive orders to teach new cadets to violate the Constitution by entering homes without a judicial warrant. He says the time, the studies, the constitutional law and deadly force have all been cut down. Instead of doing 8 hours a day, they do 12 hours a day. You've increased.
Sir, the gentleman you're referencing was detailed to FLETC for training for a couple of months. He's a trial attorney. He was never there before we changed the curriculum. He was only there for a couple of months after we had changed it and made sure that it was 6 days a week, 12 hours a day. All of the individuals received all the training they did before.
I've got 27 seconds left.
They also
Let me-
received
27 seconds left. I reclaim my time. I taught police law. You get more learning in the less time you give them. If you
New White House MW2 edit is so sick. Listen, man, I look for a little more from my White House than just fancy branding. We know Trump's good at branding. We need to we need more, you know. Dude, these things look fucking terrifying. What the fuck is a Yilton? Why does it have 2 heads? This isn't a thing. This isn't a real thing.
more time, they learn less because their brains start to go other places. Do you have any people that you've hired who were January 6 offenders?
Not that I know of.
Can you?
All right, I'll watch it. I'll check it out. Sounds interesting. What is it called? I'm glad my record is completely cleaned in my criminal. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's amazing to hear. Bro, what is this video? What the fuck? Look, what is YouTube trying to feed me? It's got Agartha Kirk on two panels, denied, Kristi Noem blocked. Senator John Kennedy questions something, and then some African-American girl or jumping her tits up and down. What is this? I'm not even signed into it. This is just what YouTube is feeding me. Oh, yeah, let's talk about this obviously racist meme. Bro, what is this? Oh, well, I don't have X. It's just too many Nazis, man. I'm not interested. Too many Nazis on there.
You find, go in your records and tell me if anybody who you hired was a January 6 offender.
I'll get back to you on that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Gentleman's
You're back
time
to
has
balance.
expired. Mr. Massey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Secretary Noem, I'd be remiss if I didn't take this opportunity to thank you for your services.
I'd be remiss if I didn't take this opportunity to polish your dome just a little bit. But I certainly wouldn't make it. I'm not a fan of the George Droid memes. I don't know. It's pretty horrible what happened to George Floyd, even if, you know, just looking back on it all now.
Secretary Noem, last month your Immigration and Customs Enforcement Director Todd Lyons confirmed that the Department of Homeland Security is conducting an investigation into the brutal, cruel, and senseless killings of Renee Good and Alex Preddy. Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension Superintendent Drew Evans loudly and publicly complained when, in the minutes and hours after your agents shot Alex Preddy.
And I used to be an edgelord back in the day. I just want to make, like, I've lived many lives on the internet, let me tell you. But, I I don't know. I've sobered up to a lot of the edgelord shit is just crazy cringe now. I guess that's what you get when you get older. Don't F with ICE, fools, says Jim Wilder. Why not? No, I'm kidding. You probably shouldn't disrupt active operations. Not because I disagree with it, but because ICE is a force of paramilitary goons that don't believe in the Constitution. That would be the reason you wouldn't want to mess with ICE. Not because they're in the right or anything. No, they're
to death in broad
disgusting.
Daylight. Your DHS agents excluded BCA and Minneapolis police from accessing the crime scene. Your agents continued to physically block state and local law enforcement access to the crime scene even after they were
presented. I agree. Don't mess with ICE. They'll murder you and get away with it. Yeah.
With a search warrant issued by a judge that authorized their appearance at that location, the crime scene. And so with you having excluded them, that left your department's agents uniquely positioned to clandestinely seize and control all of the physical evidence from the crime scene, including body camera footage, phones, firearms, ballistic evidence, and other physical.
Speaking of not effing with ICE, let's check it out. Let's see what is this? LW disgusting story. What is this about?
One time, did something crazy, ripped my asshole open, and I had to go get stitches, right? And I went to...
what? Sorry?
No, no,
could I,
no.
What is this about? Is this Your Movie Sucks?
The
floor has...
I slept in the shower with an inflatable toilet, maybe, let's say that.
Okay.
And I ripped my butthole open, and I got stitches. And when I went to get
stitches for your...
What is this about? Who is LW? Who's LW? Do I know an LW? This is truly a disgusting story, though, so I may... Did they shove ice up their ass? I'm assuming they shoved ice up their ass, and that's why they had to get stitches.
Physical evidence. Your attempts to hide the evidence from state and local law enforcement forced Minnesota officials to go into federal court to obtain a temporary restraining order preventing you from destroying or altering the evidence and ordering you to preserve the evidence.
Just a friend of YMS?
Madam Secretary.
Got you. Well, YMS is a weird dude. I think he supports fucking animals from the last I heard. So weird stuff going on with that guy.
Who was it that ordered you to deny state and local law enforcement agency access to the Alex Preddy crime scene? Was it
veteran of YouTube that used to review movies and has had a very... He's kind of a lol cow now. That's the best way to put it.
Donald Trump?
And
was
all
it Pam
things
Bondi?
you associate with lol
Was it
cows.
Kash Patel? Or was it Corey? Whose idea was it?
Congressman, I will tell you it is not my role as the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security to conduct investigations at the federal level.
I'm
That
asking,
happens at
I'm asking
the
who
Department
was
of
it
Justice.
that instructed
Those
your
decisions are
agents
made,
to deny access to the crime scene to state and local law?
He does not. I'm sorry. Your Movie Sucks has had some weird fucking takes, dude. I remember watching a whole video about how that man had fallen from grace, let's say. See, why are gems deposits only 2 coins? You realize that's not doing shit. 2 coins. Alright, well I gotta head to the home front anyways. Because we have unfortunately lost a large swath of our army. A large swath of our army has fallen to the false empire that currently rules, but fret not, we will have a new one coming.
Law enforcement
We
agents.
wish there would have been more local law enforcement there that day. The reason that
they were there, but
such
your
a violent
agency
scene was because we
prevented.
Do you at least watch his response? No. Maybe, I don't know, maybe YMS is a good dude. I just know that he has had some weird takes, and definitely, I don't know, maybe I'm off about him.
Them from accessing the crime scene.
Supporting
Who was it that gave that order to deny access to the crime scene?
Sir, I don't make those decisions on
Well, who
investigations at
made the
federal level. I will
decision?
tell you that
Was
within
it
the
whose
agency,
decision was it?
within the agency for incidences,
Was
that
it
there
Corey's
is internal
idea?
investigations that go through the office of
Okay, well, you're
PR,
not gonna.
I think he was shitting on Ethan too. And you guys know Ethan is a patron saint here, so Ethan is a patron saint though. We love Ethan. He's an absolutely great guy. If you don't like H3H3 Productions, you just don't like having fun.
So beyond that,
you're not going to answer my
the
question.
ICE
That's
goes to
fine,
the
ma'am.
incident-
I'm going to reclaim my time. As the Secretary of Homeland Security, you are the ultimate overseer of your department's investigations into the death of Renee Good and Alex Preddy. Isn't that correct?
we conduct investigations within ICE and CBP.
Okay.
Like saying you actually don't believe in Iowa? Well, I like to stay ambiguous. I like to stay ambiguous on my Iowa belief. I will say that, you know. But, yeah, Iowa's a real place, guys, for sure.
Okay, fine. You're
internal
responsible for it. That was my
to
question.
the officers to make sure they follow
Within
their protocols and
hours
training.
of these killings, you jumped before the cameras on national TV and lied about these victims, labeling them domestic terrorists before the investigation had even begun. Even your own ICE director has now admitted that
definitely
they
take
are
that
not
money
terrorists,
from the
and
slaves.
that kind of comment could bias the investigation. Secretary Norm, will you acknowledge that your lies labeling Ms. Good and Mr. Pretty as domestic terrorists could bias the DHS investigation into their killings?
These investigations are ongoing. They're
Well,
internal and
couldn't your
external.
comments have
The
signaled
Incident Review
what
Committee
the
within
conclusion of
ICE
the
will determine
investigation
any
should
actions
be?
that will take it, and within CBP, it's the National Use of Force
Well,
Board
well,
that does those.
Nah, Ethan absolutely destroys anybody he debates. He's a great father, a great husband, and an absolute chat of a man that I think people should look up to. Anyways.
What you did was
They'll
actually
continue to do
prejudice
that.
the investigations that your department is conducting, Madam Secretary. And, you know, it's no mistake. Your department has a pattern of obstructing investigations. A federal judge has lambasted your ICE director for lying in court.
Nah, dude, he absolutely kills in debates. I'm sorry. If you believe a debate is something like, I don't know, he's pretty good at debating, man. I don't know about that one, brother. Think you're a little off. He's the drunken master of debate, my friend.
And you, the Inspector General, just yesterday revealed to the public, your own Inspector General, who was appointed by Trump, has revealed that your department has been obstructing his independent investigations into your department and into your department's ability to investigate others.
That is not true. In that letter that he sent to the Hill yesterday,
I want to enter into the record for unanimous consent two articles that document the fact that the Inspector General says that DHS has systematically obstructed its work. It's a Wall Street Journal article dated March 3rd, yesterday.
Without objection.
And also a Politico article, internal.
Who did he smoke? Who did he smoke? No, Steven Crowder ran away from a debate with not Sam Harris. Oh, I forget his name, but he ran away from a debate with that guy. What's his name? He runs the Majority Report. Well, he ran away from him. I think I could even smoke that guy in a debate. I've watched the debate, my friend. No, we must have seen a different video, because what I saw was Steven Crowder running away. Sam Cedar? Okay. Got you. Well, yeah, he ran away like a little baby. Oh my gosh, hold on. Yes, Sam Cedar. Yes. Yeah, he ran away from that dude. I think I could even beat Sam Cedar in a debate about things like Israel and Palestine, but how did he run away from the debate? I mean, we can watch. Yeah, let's watch the debate. Fuck it. H3. This is not the dove you think it is.
Welcome, everybody, to a very special episode of the H3 Podcast. Today is my first ever debate against the one and only Steven Crowder, who, thank you very much. Thank you. Steven Crowder.
Stand up.
Who's standing up?
Ethan, please stand
Ethan,
up.
oh, man.
Ethan, please stand up.
Who am I to disobey our great, glorious leader? Crowder challenged me to a debate. He called me a layup. He said I was stupid. Well, Steven, I think the debate speaks for itself. Steven Crowder, for those of you that don't know, is probably one of the most hateful, bigoted people on the platform. Racist, homophobic. I mean, pretty much hits every box.
Yeah, so, number one, didn't do it live. It's kind of weird, kind of strange that he would have to do that, but let's see.
The only time I get to say this, debate Sam Cedar, dude. Stop being such a pussy. I know that your dad doesn't want you to.
Yeah, that's the thing. Steven Crowder's dad doesn't want he knows Crowder can't handle the smoke. By the way, Crowder famously divorced because he yelled like a little bitch when asking his girlfriend to do, or asking his wife to do something.
So we're always trying to keep it as respectful as possible. And I really do appreciate you guys making the time because a lot of people haven't. Has a huge YouTube channel, several YouTube channels, one of the OGs. A lot of people watch him. You know him, some of you like him, some of you don't. Same can be said for me. Ethan Klein from H3. Ethan, thanks man for making the time.
You're very welcome. And I just want to say, I know you called me, you said that would be a layup. That's fine. That's fine. I think you're right, because I don't think I'm a very good debater. I think you know that.
Unedited? Do you have the unedited version? Where's the unedited version? This is the version, my friend.
So I don't want to make it too easy for you.
Oh, okay.
So I prepared.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So, what we're going to talk about is the initial quote that happened. I think he's looking off there. The initial quote that kind of was turned into a little bit of a meme, which wasn't intentional, and was you saying you don't even have to think about it regarding the CDC. And I disagree with that. I think people should think about it. I believe, and we talked about this through Playful Ribbing, an aggregation of medical authorities and scientific voices to make an informed and rational decision. So, what do you think that I'm wrong on that?
Stephen, do you know that the Spartans they are like practice man love with children?
Oh, geez. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. What did I tell you? He was going to do anything he could to avoid. Oh, there he is. Oh no, Sam Cedar. What a fucking nightmare.
No, he said what you think, and then look at this. Watch this. This is what you don't want to see, Sandy Ego. You don't want to see this part. Look away. Look away. Sam's. It's the Antichrist. Steven Crowder. His kryptonite, some would say. Look away.
Oh, geez. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. What did I tell you? He was going to do anything he could to avoid. Oh, there he is. Oh no, Sam Cedar. What a fucking nightmare. I had no idea this was going to happen. I thought Ethan was a stand-up guy.
I had no idea this was going to happen. Oh God. Well, I mean, Crowder, if you thought Ethan was such a layup, then it should be good to actually get some actual intellectual debates going on, and it should be easy for you. I mean, it's Louder with Crowder. Everybody watches him still.
This is where we are. Yeah, I told Dave. Remember I told you? I said this. I guarantee you, he's going to do anything he
can. Dave! Oh my God! Look, it's red alert. It's red alert as this happens. Ladies and gentlemen, go. Ladies and gentlemen, bat down the hatches. Stephen wasn't right. You don't even need to think about the COVID shot. I agree. Put that shit in there. Put it in your veins.
What did I tell you? He was going to do anything he could to avoid. Oh, there he is.
Well, no, you said our original premise may have been Ethan was a good debater, and I can show examples of that, but this isn't debate review. But I do want to show how much of a coward Steven Crowder is and kind of dance on his entertainment grave, if you will. What's up, Bill? Sam Cedar! Oh God! What is happening? Sam Cedar! Bill, why are you what are you questioning? Did I say something super suspect? I don't think I've said anything horrible, but we'll see. Did somebody hack your account potentially? No, he said that's what Crowder was saying. He wasn't saying he was bad. No, Crowder was scared. Crowder is horrified of Sam Cedar. As a matter of fact, this is unedited, my friend. This is unedited. No, Ethan wasn't. I could debate someone like Steven Crowder. He is not that hard to debate, my friend. No, I'm not going to debate you on whether Ethan said he was bad or not. There's evidence that he's not. But what I will debate you is that Steven Crowder is an absolute coward who, to this day, has not debated someone like the Sam Cedar with the Majority Report, who is shown, who Ethan Klein himself debated and laid up. So, I don't know, dude. I don't know. But we're going to continue on with this, because this is fun, and this was the beginning of the end for Crowder. It was soon after this, he started yelling at his wife, and I think that shows something.
Which wasn't intentional, and was you saying you don't even have to think about it regarding the CDC. And I disagree with that. I think people should think about it. I believe, and we talked about this through Playful Ribbing.
Nah, you don't got to think about it, dog.
An aggregation of medical authorities and scientific voices to make an informed and rational decision. So where do you think that I'm wrong on that?
Stephen, do you know that
I said Steven Crowder was right about millions of deaths from the vax? Yeah. IDK, dude, agree to disagree. Watch. Watch. Watch this, my friend. I want you. Well, if you don't think he's scared, then why did fucking Steven Crowder run away?
The Spartans.
I don't like him, but he's bigger than ever. Crowder? Fuck no. Nobody's watching Steven Crowder. Hold on. All right, let's look at this. Let's look at these videos here. 14K views. He's not even breaking 100,000. He can't fuck this up. It's talking about the war in Iran. All right, that was a big video for him. That's a big video for him. All right, interesting. Yeah, I don't know about this. Oh, we got a 300K video here. Is this the dumbest woman in the universe? And it's a picture of AOC. Wow, he is thought-provoking topics. Yeah, he looks way worse after the wife. I'm not gonna lie. Racist, period. He has giant moments? No, he doesn't. The only reason we've brought him up is because of times Ethan Klein has dubbed people. She is. That's kind of I mean, I think it's sad that you have to call people retarded instead of engaging with their ideas. I'm just calling him irrelevant. I'm calling this guy irrelevant. Not part of the conversation Steven Crowder is. Little Yoda speakings there. But let's watch him run away a little bit more.
That they are like practice man love with children?
Oh, geez. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. What did I tell you? He's going to do.
And what about that? Like, think about that. He named his entire thing Spartan, but he's really against gays. Like, isn't that kind of weird? No way. Is that the day after? Is that the day after? I don't have to be irrelevant to call someone irrelevant. Shout out to Irrelevant. Cool guy. But anyways.
Anything he could to avoid. Oh, there he is. Oh no, Sam Cedar. What a fucking
nightmare.
Oh
no, what a nightmare. What a nightmare. I'm afraid. Most of us don't think of Spartans for their gayness. Well, they practiced it, my friend. They didn't practice gay love, my friend. They practiced boy love. They practiced boy love, my friend. They did not just practice gay love. It was pedophilic gay love that the Spartans practiced. I don't know, kind of weird, kind of interesting. No, I think this is funny. This is relevant. This is very relevant. Because he's not on for much longer. But
I had no idea this was going to happen. I thought Ethan was a stand-up guy. This is where we are. Yeah, I told Dave, remember I told you?
Look,
I said,
he has to get his friend. He's so afraid. He's so afraid he has to get his friend. Oh no! You heard the fear.
He's going to do anything he can to avoid the debate.
Well, I just think he believes that he should debate you.
No, he doesn't. He just takes advantage of women with mental health issues. Ethan Klein doesn't stand up and do his own fighting.
My prediction is that you would do anything to avoid talking to me. I think the point that you made is
Joe Rogan, Dave Rubin, and Jordan Peterson, and Noam Chomsky, and Sam Harris. Everyone's been avoiding.
Not just attempt to get your audience by jumping in.
Well,
I debated with Charlie Kirk.
It's about...
He's on for like 15 more minutes. All right, let's watch it.
Let's talk about those issues.
Let's watch it.
I had no idea that you were taking your show off early last time, coming in today with your pig pen peanuts.
I wish every
Now listen. Now let's listen. What substantive arguments does Steven Crowder bring besides ad homs? Let's find out.
I don't know why.
No one's worried about it. They don't want to do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, he brings a friend. No, he needs like comfort. He's uncomfortable. It's obvious. Steven is afraid. He has like a deep primordial fear right now. That of Sam Seder, which I don't think is necessary. Sam Seder, I mean, he's okay at debating, but I don't think it's necessary. But he's afraid. Poor guy.
I have a general rule. I don't start debating with people on a lie. And how about
sabotaging?
How about you
Steven, show yourself, you coward. Steven, show yourself. Don't show your co-host.
Ethan, you should.
Dude, look at that. He's not even showing himself. He's afraid. Because Ethan never gets uncomfortable or has woman-like emotions. What does that mean? What is a woman-like emotion to have? Oh my God, ambushed? Dude, he got on a call with another person. That's not being ambushed. Jesus Christ. Can we grow up? Talk about woman-like emotions.
Steven, how do you expect me to man, brother? Steven, you're such a coward. Stop showing your little leprechaun co-host who comes out dressed like your sidekick.
Why isn't he showing, like, that's an argument. Why isn't fucking Steven showing himself? Hey, he may have anxiety, and so do I, but I wouldn't be a coward and just show my co-host instead of showing someone, instead of, showing myself. I'm not that afraid of a screen, believe it or not. Oh my God, we're acting like this is like a street ambush. Oh God, hands up. No, my friend, this is an online debate. This is an online debate, my friend. Refuse to be clickbait? Oh my, this is not a good argument. This is not a good argument. Yeah, hey, co-host, come here. I don't want to be... Oh, I'm sure in the unedited footage it's a software issue. I'm sure. This is Supreme Cope.
With less viewers to come on to debate him because you.
Well, obviously, if I'm a layup, I'm not a debater.
Well, you're the one who got the
Yeah, I mean, if he's a layup, why doesn't he actually debate somebody who knows shit? I mean, come on, it shouldn't be that hard. He's talking so much shit about Sam Seder right now. It should be a layup, dude. Kill two birds with one stone.
Got angry about it.
Oh my God, bro. This is such Supreme Cope. Because he just... Listen to what he just said. Listen to Steven's response.
Obviously, if I'm a layup, I'm not a debater.
Well, you're the one who got the
You're the one that got angry about it.
Oh, I'm sure it was. I'm sure they went into full fucking emergency panic mode after this. I'm sure that they brought up all sorts of nifty little tricks to get out of this. I'm sure of it. This is super bad for Steven Crowder because he looks like a coward. He looks like a coward here.
Let me hear what Pigpen has to say here real quick.
Fair enough.
Ethan, look, hold on a second, Ethan. This because I'm here to talk with you.
Okay, so why did they switch back? It's a software issue, my ass. The moment he starts talking, they switch back. It was a software issue. No, he was scared. He was probably shitting his pants and crying. And he finally regained some ability to speak after being stunned with sheer horror and sheer fear of debating the intellectual of Sam Seder. Somebody who got multiple news stories wrong in the past. Someone who I think has kind of discredited themselves with populist brain rot. Not that hard. Oh my god, I don't need his raw video, dude. I just need to hear what the fuck he's saying. Yes, I refuse to watch the stupid Steven Crowder side, bro. We can watch this. I'm sorry you guys feel so... Oh, Smoke's the other side of his argument, I'm sure, my friend. But anyways, let's continue.
Look, the same reason that I haven't ever had a conversation with Sam Cedar, the same reason that Joe Rogan, Sam Harris, Brett Weinstein, Dave Rubin, Ben Shapiro don't own anything. It's based on a lie. Ethan, just
look at this. So the same, it's based on a lie, is why he won't debate Sam Cedar.
Like you claiming Ethan, you claiming my book reached out to you, Ethan, when you know that's not true. There's no attacking you, Sam. I'm never afraid. Sam, I can call out my president. It doesn't mean you are so worried about this. Why do you feel that anyone owes you airtime when you have the 40th of the audience? You've been doing a show. I don't think anybody owes me airtime.
Okay, so is that a good argument for why he shouldn't debate him? Why would I debate you with 1/4 of the audience? Is that a good reason not to debate someone when multiple people have begged you to debate them? Is that a good reason?
I think that Ethan has just given it to me. I didn't ask him for it, and so
you've been begging for it. He was shitting and pooping his pants. Sorry. Democrats are weak fools. Well, account 2292, definitely not from Russia. If you disagree, feel free to call in. The MAGA Cope line is open for people like you. What do you mean, people like you? So feel free. It's always open.
Why are you so worried about the audience? And so what happens is he uploads 15 times more. Do you think your audience says, well, that's why he wants to debate you, so he can build his... Do you think your audience cares that I only have 1 million subscribers and you have, what, 6 or 7 million subscribers? Let me answer your question. Can I answer your question? Can I answer your question? Sure, let me answer your question. My audience would say Sam who? Just like Joe Rogan's audience...
Well, if you consider yourself a really good debater, yes. I can't handle you, little punk. My bad, you're not the little punk. I apologize. Easy mistake to make, but I'm the little punk, and you're saying... I can't handle you. I don't think that's true, my friend. I think I would absolutely smoke you in a debate, and you're just afraid. Account 2292. You're just afraid. I don't like to go outside. I don't like to talk to people. You're like Crowder here. You're afraid. Oh, I'm scared. I'm scared.
And now they all know who I am. Now they all know.
Oh no, he said my name. Oh God, he found me.
Because you had to show on yourself.
Maybe he's saying you can't end. You know what, Sandy Ego? I think that maybe that's positivity. You know what I mean? We can look at it.
Every day that you do that,
this is another lie. This is another lie. Let me clarify, Sam. To change my mind.
You might be right. You might be right on that account. Hey, see what I did there?
One knows on the show, right?
How did you know I ended my show early last week, Stephen? If your audience
because you're an idiot. How did you know that?
That is kind of crazy. He called in.
Because I'm a diehard fan.
Yes, it's because he's a diehard fan.
If you're a diehard fan,
but I just met you.
Why not?
Congratulations, Sam Cedar's fan.
I'm just a huge fan.
Not pathetic at all. He was saying he was a layup. Why would you want to debate a layup? Why wouldn't you want to debate somebody who's intellectually equivalent?
Talk about Steve. Right now, I'm trying to talk with you. You bombarded the show. You bombarded my show under a false pretense. You claimed that, just like you claimed that I ducked the debate with you under a false pretense.
Dude, he smoked Hassan. What are you talking about? He absolutely smoked Hassan Piker. Yeah, Hassan's a piece of shit. I agree. I think Hassan is a real loser and represents a small but loud minority in our party. I don't like them. I think they are big, stinky heads, personally. People like Hassan. So, you're not going to get any defense of Hassan from me. Guy's nuts.
That is what the Politicon people told me.
Oh, that what they told you? Well, you're just lazy with your research? And if not, continue with the lie. You need to research. Did Stephen ever say?
They said you were.
Let me explain to you. Let me explain. Hey, Sam, sweetheart. Sam, fake stand-up comic who we can't put any flirt about online.
I'm not a stand-up comic.
Oh, you're not? Okay, that makes sense because everything that I've seen is incredibly unfunny and unentertaining, which makes me obvious ironic.
Yeah, he's not a stand-up comic.
Irony alert, Stephen.
Comedian.
My stuff, Stephen. You said that your audience would appreciate our discussing things.
Samuel, can I answer your question?
Yes.
So you have gone on, you've done the same thing with other comics. Everyone has a bigger audience than you. Because you said, I want to speak with Stephen Crowder. You believe that at some point there was some acceptance? When have I ever done a Politicon? Ever. In the last decade, I haven't done a single political conference. I hosted CPAC for 4 years and stopped because they suck. They don't.
This was funny. They actually canceled a debate panel because they found out Sam Seder was going to be on there. They're afraid. He's afraid, man. I don't blame him. Yeah, if I was that bad at debating, I would not want to debate.
And they're full of losers.
It's a lie that you dropped out of doing this show.
Just hearsay and gossip. I've never met more of a woman when he wants to keep debating. I don't know. All right,
talk about the issue.
So Ethan, do you want to have a conversation about the vaccine? Because Ethan, do you want to have a conversation on hide?
Absolutely.
So why are you hiding behind Sam Cedar?
Oh, no. Have a conversation. I'm not hiding. He just
remember we hold on a second.
It feels like you're the ones who are hiding.
Really?
It kind of feels like they're the ones who are hiding. Like, let's just have a conversation then. Let's have a debate. This is a golden opportunity. People have been saying you are dodging this for years. This is a golden opportunity. So are you saying Sam Seder specifically capable of dismantling? No, I'm just saying Stephen Crowder is incredibly afraid of Sam Seder. That's all I'm saying.
Who snuck it on you? Who's the guy who never appears on stage, never does a live show, but never even allows a shadow of comedy to be perceived in his program? It's hiding. Everything we do is out in the open. H3.
Stephen, you're wearing a holster.
So, hold on a second, yeah? So, I want to normalize responsible gun ownership. Is that your debate? No wonder you had to bring in a hack for you.
Well, you're talking about comedy. Also, your sponsor is about gay support.
All right, Sam, you got it. I hope you have a highlight reel.
Hold on. Let me just make one point.
Hope you enjoy Politicon.
Let me make one point. Take it easy. Don't bail. Shower.
Hey, Sam, one thing before I go. Take off your glasses. Hold on. I just want to see if you take them off, if you have the Velveteen Rabbit buttons.
This is such a... Okay, you're right. Killer argument, ladies and gentlemen. Take off your glasses. Whoa! Back it up. Intellectual might happening now. You're... Okay. We might be cooked here, ladies and gentlemen.
That's the only thing I'm curious about. It's the only interesting part about there's a soul. Let's take off the glasses.
Let's debate.
Don't hide behind glasses. Don't say let's debate, Ethan. You've lost
Debate the issue. What does it matter?
10
You debate Howard?
All right, good. Thank you. We're going to take off the glasses.
Well, this was good.
You run away twice. Cold feet again.
Realize we had...
Come on, Stephen.
Wow.
And he disconnected.
Stephen, hold on.
He left with the argument of, can you take off your glasses? Whoa! Whoa! Intellectual giant. Stephen Crowder.
DHS watchdog, Noam, is obstructing our work.
Without objection.
How can the public think that you will give...
Gentleman's time has expired. You've asked for 2 unanimous consent requests. Without objection, those are into the record. The chair now recognizes the gentleman from Wisconsin, Mr. Fitzgerald.
Secretary Dome, thanks for being here today.
All right, is this
despite the undeniable increase in terrorist threats at the border and in the interior of the United States, Alejandro Mayorkas.
All right, he's not in charge anymore.
So yes. Do you know our China?
He's not in charge anymore, so why would that matter? No, my friend, he's not afraid of anything. I mean, they're having call-ins, H3H3. You might be able to get in and debate them. If he's that easy to debate.
Processes. Yep. What about it? Huh? What about it? What about search and seizure?
It guarantees the right to a lawful search and seizure.
It protects individuals against unreasonable searches and seizures.
Point? All Crowder did was complain that Sam Seder was on there. Try to defend that his daddy totally didn't. Totally wasn't afraid of the intellectual might of Sam Seder. Whoa, what's going on here? This is an invasion. of Baki
seizures by the government. And I ask you that because I've sent you 3 different letters going back to February of 2025 raising concerns that you are unlawfully detaining U.S. citizens in violation of the Fourth Amendment. It was not until yesterday afternoon, more than a year after I sent you my first letter, that I finally received a response from you stating that ICE has detained 18 U.S. citizens. I want to introduce you to just 4 of the U.S. citizens unlawfully detained by ICE who are not even included in the 18 individuals that you cite in your response to me. They're in this room with us, and I invite each of you to stand as I read your story. Patricia O'Keefe was monitoring ICE agents when they deployed pepper spray into her car vent without provocation. They smashed her car windows, pulled her and her friend out, arrested them for, quote, obstruction, and detained them. Patricia saw an entire area dedicated to detaining U.S. citizens. An ICE agent also said, quote, "You guys have to stop obstructing us. That's why that lesbian bitch is dead," end quote, referring to Renee Good.
Wow. Do you like your ICE officers referring to Americans, even if they disagree, as lesbian bitches? Lot of respect ICE has for American citizens, ladies and gentlemen.
ICE detained Patricia for over 8 hours. Ryan Eklund was monitoring ICE activity in his car when ICE agents blocked him and took his photo, then appeared to use that photo to go to his neighborhood and try to intimidate him. He was still in the car when they approached him, pulled him from his car, and put him in leg irons. Ryan was detained for 6 hours.
No, my friend, you should never refer to your fellow American dying, even if you disagree him, as a lesbian bitch. Sorry, not gonna agree with you there.
ICE agents shot Wesley Powers with a pepper ball while he was peacefully protesting ICE activity. ICE detained him for 8 hours, gave him no medical assistance, leaving him in clothes that still had dangerous chemical residue. When doctors examined Wesley after his release, the medical professional opinion was that what ICE agents did to him constituted assault. Edmund Higgins is a U.S. Marine Corps veteran. While legally observing ICE, he honked his horn a couple of times, and when he saw agents driving down a narrow road, he actually drove away. But agents chased him until he sought refuge at a local police station. When agents drew their firearms and pointed them at Edmund, well-trained local police officers diffused the situation, but your agents still insisted on detaining Edmund for 6 hours. Secretary Noem, yesterday in the Senate Judiciary Committee hearing, you stated that ICE agents may arrest U.S. citizens in the situation where they were obstructing law enforcement or in situations where you have reasons to doubt that they're U.S. citizens. Is that still your position?
I said, or probable cause.
So let me ask each of the U.S. citizens in the audience who were detained. Raise your hand if you were not charged with any crime
I've seen the job reports. I have seen the job reports. They are horrible. Absolutely horrible. Meager is what I would call them.
Your detention. Not a single one of you were charged with a crime. Now raise your hand if any of you were not even asked to prove that you were U.S. citizens during your detention. Not a single one of you were even asked about your citizenship status, making
My brother in Christ. Job reports are not terrible. Yes, they are. In Biden's last year, he created 800,000 jobs. In Trump's first year, he's only created 100,000. I don't think that's a good... I don't think that bodes well for the future. Do you disagree? Do you think that's a good job report?
clear that DHS agents simply don't care that they're arresting U.S. citizens.
Our GDP went down from 2.8 to 2.2.
Now please raise your hand if you were detained by ICE simply for legally protesting or monitoring ICE activity under your First Amendment rights.
All right, this is a good question, but Guys, I'm in a difficult crossroads. Do I want 5 archers or a captain who can shoot the sun out of his fists?
All 4 U.S. citizens have raised their hands that they were detained simply for legally protesting or monitoring ICE activity. Secretary, these are not 4 isolated incidents. ProPublica's reporting puts the number at over 170 U.S. citizens detained in just the first 8 months of the administration, which doesn't even include Operation Metro Surge in Minnesota. None of these 4 U.S. citizens were charged with a crime. None had their citizenship questioned, and all were lawfully exercising their First Amendment rights. Do you have anything you want to say to them or the millions of American citizens across the country that are watching this and horrified at what your department is doing?
Well, context is critical in each of these situations to know the full range of what happened in each of these situations before and after the incident and their arrest.
Secretary, not a single one was charged with a crime. Not a single one, and they were detained. And let me just reclaim my time for my final seconds. DHS is supposed to be protecting our residents and upholding constitutional protections, but you've turned that on the head. You have actually turned the United States government against its own residents, and you've had multiple chances to take accountability, to apologize to these folks and others across the country, but you have failed to do it.
I think that's so gross that she didn't at least apologize for calling our fellow American citizens terrorists. I think that's pretty fucking gross, honestly. Domestic terrorists, just because they were protesting.
Yours is a case of failed leadership, Secretary. You need to resign, be fired, or be impeached.
Yeah, the time of the
because
gentlelady,
you don't have the right to lead this
time
agency.
of the gentlelady has expired, and she yields back. The gentleman from New Jersey is recognized.
Thank you. Secretary, thank you for being here. Sorry you got to go through some of the stuff you're going through today, but...
Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Bad people, with or without documents, citizens or not.
We'll probably skip that. Ooh, heavy hitters. Heavy hitters. Hold on. I wish they had timestamps. That would be nice. Bro, come on. What is this?
Secretary Noem, I want to go a little bit different route here on some issues that are very important to Wyoming. There's a very important enforcement issue related to my constituents in Wyoming. Sugar beet farmers are important for Wyoming's economy and the economies of so many other states. Unfortunately, foreign entities are circumventing our laws to bring in sugar and displace these hardworking farmers. I know that there is a Section 1516 petition in front of the
Governor Spanberger. Just a few weeks ago, an alleged MS-13 gang member, Christian Medrano Umanzor, was arrested in Strasbourg thanks to the...
Really? Is that it? Could have swore there was more. I'm not really interested in the bootlickers, though. Not too interested in licking the boot.
Protecting the...
Gentlelady from California is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Secretary, for joining us. Finally, you are in charge of protecting the homeland. And so your judgment and the judgment of your senior staff can be the difference between life and death. So I think that judgment would need to be unassailable. Why then, is the question, have you made Corey Lewandowski your de facto chief of staff who possesses an unchecked level of power at DHS. Under your leadership, this person has done things like fire your FEMA administrator while sitting behind your desk, which is your job to do, lobby to build the controversial detention facility known as Alligator Alcatraz, which has turned into a legal boondoggle costing Florida millions, and have veto and reviewing and signing power over large DHS contracts and grants, which again is your job. DHS has critical agency components like the Secret Service, FEMA, Border Patrol, cybersecurity. So does Corey Lewandowski have national security experience, military experience, law enforcement experience? No. He is a lobbyist, a failed campaign
You do not want the economy to quote unquote cool. That's not good, my friend. Not at all. You want the economy to be hot to lower interest rates.
Which is causing my constituents who are waiting for their FEMA dollars and me to wonder what are his qualifications for this job. So according to the Wall Street Journal, you and Mr. L have a close relationship that has made President Trump, quote, uncomfortable. The president reportedly denounced Corey Lewandowski as your chief of staff due to reports of a romantic relationship between the two of you. So instead, you designated him as a special government employee, a position he has had well beyond the allowed 130 days and requires him to disclose if he is making money off of his position. Trump knows that this guy is shady. Corey has a decades-long record of physical battery, sexual harassment, illegal lobbying for a Venezuelan oil company, and bringing a loaded gun into a federal building. Despite being fired or removed from virtually every position he has ever held due to misconduct, he now wields unchecked, unconfirmed, undisclosed power over your department. This person has no experience running anything close to Department of Homeland Security or even advising someone in your position. He is unqualified, which again has left my constituents and I wondering why he is your top official. So Secretary Noem, at any time during your tenure as Director of Department of Homeland Security, have you had sexual relations with Corey Lewandowski?
Uh-oh, this is her own have you had sexual relations with that woman? Uh-oh. Let's see how she answers. Oh, geez. This is not good for her. But if she's not abusing public office, it should be fine, right, guys? She can, if she's not, using her power wrong and sleeping with her lessers, then it should be fine.
Mr. Chairman, I am shocked that we're going down and peddling tab.
Hold on, are we gonna say no? I think that's an important thing. Are we gonna say no? Come on. We gotta say no to that. That's a hard no. No, I have not engaged in sexual relations. That's an easy stop. No. I have not done that.
Tabloid garbage in this committee today.
Reclaiming
and
my
ma'am,
time.
one thing that I would tell you is that he is a special government employee who works for the White House. There are thousands of them in the federal government.
So reclaiming
and
my
is
time,
an advisor
Secretary, it is
and has
okay for
no,
you to be
no
offended
authority
by
to
the
be
question.
making any
It is
decisions.
okay for you to
has
be
no
offended
authority
by the
to
question.
Be, making
But it is
decisions
also
and
a
putting
real
up your
question.
position. So what I would say
And
to
you should be able to
is
answer
that
the question.
what we do at the Department of Homeland Security every single
and without
day,
any hesitation,
every single day is to protect
if
this
someone
country
is
and
asking
to make
if
decisions.
you or any federal official is sleeping with their subordinate, that should be the easiest. You should be wanting to answer that question.
Is garbage?
Because it is not about
It is
your sex
offensive
life.
that you have brought
It is
that up.
about your
So
judgment.
that kind of garbage
It is
has been
about
refuted
reclaiming
for
my
years,
time so
and
that
you
I
need
can
to
hear myself.
recognize-
Time belongs to the gentlelady from California, but it'd be nice if you would let her respond.
I will. I want to let you know it is about your judgment and decision-making. It is about the 260,000 employees that work under you that want to make sure that you are giving information and making decisions clearly. It is about conflict of interest. It is about a national security risk. Department of Homeland Security was created right after 9/11 to protect the homeland. And DHS has circulated an internal bulletin to law enforcement partners warning that the conflict of the war we're in could inspire lone actors or small-scale cyber activity inside the United States, according to a memo obtained by ABC News. So American lives are at risk. The people who work for you are at risk. And they want to know that the person at the top, you, are making decisions clearly, without any sort of cloudiness, and that they're your decisions because you're the secretary who was confirmed. That's what this is about. Saving the lives of Americans and not costing them millions of dollars, and not having a secretary who's compromised in her decision-making. And Mr. Chair, before I yield my time, I would like to enter into the record some articles, and I'm asking for unanimous consent. Noem tightens her grip on DHS. Lewandowski fired FEMA admin.
Without
while sitting at
objection.
the OK. The next one is Kristi Noem secretly took a cut of political donations from ProPublica.
Without objection.
Kristi Noem fires pilot over a blanket, but is forced to reinstate him to fly home. Wall Street Journal.
Without objection.
Lewandowski taking out trash at Noem's D.C. home. Daily Beast.
Without objection.
Barbie's my.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. This is insane. No, this was not an excellent rebuttal. This was horrible. Horrible, dude. She just lied under oath.
High privacy chamber with alleged lover exposed. Wall Street Journal, how Corey Lewandowski became Kristi Noem's gatekeeper at DHS.
Objection.
A pilot fired over Kristi Noem's missing blanket and the constant chaos inside DHS.
Objection.
Wall Street Journal. Police charge Trump campaign manager with assault. PBS News.
Without objection.
Woman who accused Corey Lewandowski of assault speaks out. I don't want this to happen to anyone else. CBS News. Lewandowski's firm quietly inked deal with Venezuela-owned company Politico.
Without objection.
List of U.S. cities raising security amid Iran conflict. Newsweek.
Without objection.
Kristi Noem, I have a few more, I'm sorry. Kristi Noem misled Congress yesterday about top aides' role in DHS contracts.
Without objection.
Policy number 10271 from ICE. It is an anti-fraternization policy prohibiting romantic or sexual relationships between supervisors and their subordinates. And with that, I yield.
Without objection. Gentleman from Texas, recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Damn, that one hurt. That one must have hurt. All those times that
Madam Secretary, your predecessor came before this committee several times over the last 4 years I was here, I believe, for all of those. One of the things he claimed in an interview with the Washington Post in January of 2023, and we're talking about Mr. Mayorkas, he said that the overwhelming number of inadmissible aliens
can't we
flooding.
talk about what just happened? Why do we have to talk about Alexander Mayorkas?
For certain.
Well, I hope my colleagues on the other side of the aisle will help us to fix this quickly, and I will yield the balance of my time to Mr. Jordan.
I appreciate the gentleman yielding back, and I'm going to yield back. It's been a long day. Secretary, we appreciate you being here. It's next. The gentleman from Florida is recognized for 5 minutes.
Before I go, I just have a bunch of UC requests, Mr. Chairman.
Gentleman may proceed. It's going to be as long as the previous one.
You seem a little exhausted.
No, not at all. I just I think we're setting records like Mr. Biggs and now the gentleman from California. You're gonna go for the record?
If I'm being honest, I threw out 50 of them.
God bless you. Let's go. So let's get started.
All right. A Vox article, the mess that Kristi Noem made.
Without objection.
Times article, Noem's spending rule causes delays at home.
Objections or not. Yeah, that was interesting. Anyways, I think I'm gonna get out of here, guys. I'm getting kind of Kinda tired. I gotta get ready for tomorrow's show. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys enjoyed the stream, make sure to like and subscribe. We hit 400 subs today. Thank you guys so much. I am so grateful. We're just 100 away. We're just 100 away from you guys unlocking a whole wealth of new content. And you know, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I think it's some pretty amazing content. You know what I mean? I think we're going to be moving the needle by a lot. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed the stream, make sure, I think I said that, my bad. Anyways, without further ado, I guess we should probably just end the stream. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, did not mean to do that. Let me put on the images and we'll get out of here. Let me turn those on. Also, make sure to share the stream for the net, you know, that always oh, that's an alarm. That always helps. And if you support what I do out here, make sure to donate to my Ko-Fi. Anyways, let's get some Chris Chan music going. That's what I'm saying. Maybe. Also, I was thinking it would be a fun thing to do a gaming stream with some of my followers and a couple creators. So look forward to that. That might be coming down the pipeline at some point. Anyways, Chris Chan, Agartha, I'll see you guys tomorrow.
One of my finest creations.